Vocalist of the Year, Natalie Grant, singing our national anthem.
And she is outstanding, and so is this. This is a live drone shot now, working its way through the arena.
So can they not? Hello, everybody. I hope you guys can hear us, and I hope that you are listening with us. Joey can. Okay, good. Joey's giving me the signal that he can hear me. Great. Thank you, Joey. Thank you guys for being with us. We're listening to the national anthem right now. Vic Porcelli is in the building. We're doing the national anthem.
Just sing it. God. It's not about you, honey.
We're starting.
Put your hand on your heart, Kami.
That is incredible that she hit that note, though.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah. The mics are on.
I've already commented for this girl to just sing the song, okay? It's not about her. Who shushed me? You shushed me? Here we go. Here it goes. Nope. Sorry.
I thought it was good.
I give it a C plus at best. A C plus at best.
I give that a C.
Has already called Asia Hutchinson weak and pathetic.
Well, he is.
Let it begin.
They've been on. Tucker and him have been on for 4 minutes.
That's amazing.
He's already taken shots at Fox News,
Boy, they went on a couple minutes early.
television in general.
We had it on 55, right?
He asked him. He said, Trump had made a comment about not about people on the stage that don't deserve to be there, and Tucker said, "Like who?" And he said, "I don't want to name names, but Asia Hutchinson."
Because he's weak and
Weak
pathetic.
and pathetic.
And
Right back.
right on both.
All right. Good to know.
So Harry Connick Jr., you know Harry Connick Jr.?
Yes.
Watch him singing the national anthem at a World Series game. It was about 5 or 6 years ago. Perfect.
I agree
A
with you about
plus.
like overdoing it, but
I didn't think she was.
C plus. Nope.
I
C
thought she
plus.
was pretty basic, actually.
There's no room
Trill.
for anything.
No room for trill
No
or
room for
frill.
anything. You sing the song the way the melody is.
Goes.
It's not about you. The point is, it's not about you. You don't walk away from a national and say, wow, she's a great singer.
Yes.
You walk away from a national, wow, she really honored America beautifully right there.
You know what, though? I think there's a lot of people now who take that opportunity to do that kind of showcase for themselves.
Of course.
And it's become a thing where it isn't just like sing it straight and sing it true. It is about belting and the high notes and the vibrato and can you run? It's just
Not about you, girl.
yeah. And that I do agree with. Biden.
Why are they? Oh.
Everyone's in masks. Remember?
All right.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for logging in. Vic and I are in here. Tony is actually watching the counter programming. Don't know what you guys are watching right
He's too good
now.
for us.
Hopefully you're just watching us and then flipping through whatever it is, whether it be the debate or the counter programming with Tucker and Trump. Vic, what are your predictions for
tonight?
Just quick prediction. Shush up.
I think,
Quiet.
Oh, sorry.
I
Keep starting.
And by the way, before Vic begins, Tony and I have been arguing for an hour.
Did
We
you
have
take your
spent
chair?
too much time together.
You took my chair.
Is my chair out there?
There was a crusty chair that I brought in here, and no, there's your chair. It's out there.
You want this one?
That's your chair.
Oh,
No.
my God. What a girl.
Oh yeah, that's true. So this is what I've been dealing with for the last hour, people. The two men arguing over things. Tony and I arguing.
These are on, right?
Yes, they are.
Welcome to the.
I've already
Trump
welcomed.
STL. I know, I heard you. I'm a pro. So I want to. Can we turn that down for a second? I want to just play this. I know, but listen, we're covering everything today. Tucker and Trump and the debate. And I thought this was very interesting. Out of the box, first 10 seconds of this Tucker Carlson live stream with Donald Trump. Tucker asks, why are you not at the debate tonight? So they can hear me if I play this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Trump's answer is pretty amazing. He already takes shots at Asia Hutchinson and calls Ron DeSantis a lost cause. So we're off and running.
Mr. President, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Why are you at the Fox News debate tonight in Milwaukee?
Well, a lot of people have been asking me that, and many people said you shouldn't do them, but you see the polls have come out, and I'm leading by 50 and 60 points. And, some of them are at 1 and 0 and 2. And I'm saying, do I sit there for an hour or 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, and get harassed by people that shouldn't even be running for president? Should I be doing that? And a network that isn't particularly friendly to me, frankly. They were backing Ron DeSanctimonious like crazy, and now they've given up on him. I mean,
He's given up on
it's
him.
a lost
He's a
cause.
lost cause. Yep.
It's reminded me very much of 2016. In 2016, I went through the same stuff and had to fight them all the way. And then they became very friendly after I won, or
Did that
just
freeze?
about when I was winning. But I just felt it would be more appropriate not to do the debate. I don't think it's right to do it. If you're leading by 50, 60, I have one problem leading by 70 points. And I'm saying, why am I doing it? And I'm going to have 8 people, 10 people, whoever made the debate. I don't know how many it is, but I'm going to have all these people screaming at me, shouting questions at me, all of which I love answering. I love doing, but it doesn't make sense to do them. So I've taken a pass, as you probably noticed.
So there, he's off and running over there. As I mentioned, he has already taken shots at Ron DeSantis and Asia Hutchinson,
Look how freaking good this stage looks. Oh my god.
and made the claim that they'll get more people watching their live stream than the debate.
Well, I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see.
Oh,
Republican crowd, of course. You're the best.
is everybody here okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
We have noticed a dramatic increase in prices at the grocery store just across the board.
Thanks, Joey.
Rent is too damn high.
Rent is
Oh my
damn
God,
high.
do you remember that guy with the white beard?
Jimmy McMillan.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
The rent is too damn high.
How's it go? How's the song go? I'm Jimmy McMillan.
We've got Scotty
Running
and
through.
Julie and Barbara and Sean and Linda and a couple of other people joining us right now. Thank you guys for joining us.
Why don't I see? Oh, they're not in the chat box. You just know they're there.
I do know that they're there.
Come
They're
on,
all-
chat with us.
It's on Katie's. They're on Katie's chat box.
Katie's chat box.
Here's the first question. Okay.
This guy.
Why are they playing this? It's a good song, but why are they playing it?
What are your thoughts on it? Why do libs hate it?
Do you like this song? Both of you? Either of you?
I'm not a country person, but I like the lyrics. I mean, I think the
Funny
lyrics
that
are
people
good.
Don't call it a country song. They call it a folk song.
I guess, yeah, it could be more
Doesn't matter.
bluegrass.
It's a good song. I just like that he's getting attention.
This decline is not inevitable. It's a choice. We need to send Joe Biden back to his basement and reverse American decline. With understanding we must reverse Bidenomics
Emergency
so that
use.
middle-class families have a chance to succeed again. We cannot succeed as a country if you are working hard and you can't afford groceries, a car, or a new home, while Hunter Biden can make hundreds of thousands of dollars on lousy paintings. That is wrong. We also cannot succeed when
I like that line.
Congress spends trillions and trillions of dollars. Those rich men north of Richmond have put us in this situation. And finally, we need to lower your gas prices. We're going to open up all energy production. We will be energy dominant again in this country. I showed it could be done in the state of Florida. I pledge to you as your president, we will get the job done, and I will not let you down.
So if you are watching this at home or wherever with us, I hope that we are pretty much right on the same time. We're watching the debate live with you. And then from time to time, there could be some conversation that breaks out in this studio, just like I hope is happening wherever you are. And you can also discuss and chat with us on any of the comment sections on all of our social media platforms, because we're live on all of them. And we'll be trying to incorporate your thoughts and comments in as well. And so it's a little weird because we're so used to well, you got to be quiet because the debate's on. Let's
be noisy. The debate's on.
Yeah, we want to watch the debate, but we also want to talk
this
about
is cool
it as it's
because
happening.
this is how it happens in your living room with your family.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
exactly
I can't believe he said that. Look at this guy. I don't.
There's
like it. I
already
gotta
a
pee.
stark difference between Chris Christie's, the way he is formulating, and I even think the tone of his voice than compared to Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, I think his weakness is going to be that he's going to rely too much on the training almost that he had beforehand.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Chris Christie, who I am not a fan of,
Me neither.
is already more relaxed in a conversational tone than Ron DeSantis just was.
You're right.
It's going to be interesting to see. Vic, you just said Republican crowd.
They booed him.
DeSantis had.
He had the crowd.
He had the crowd.
Oh yeah,
We'll see if Christie has it.
Christie was
very
booed.
slight. Yeah, booed at the beginning and a little
So,
smattering
Katie,
of applause there.
Getting back to what you were saying, he sounds conversational. DeSantis sounded speechy.
He did. He sounded like he had a lot of practice with the staff.
Like he's on a podium in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Christie sounds like he's talking to you. Right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. And there's that. It makes me feel, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, and it's so early. When people are conversational and have that more calm tone of voice, it makes me more confident in what they're saying. But I'm not a big fan of Chris Christie. I don't want anyone to think that.
Chris Christie.
And I like what Ron DeSantis said. It's just a different tone.
And it's not Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just making the whole thing about that song.
I know why. I don't
Did you see what Billy Bragg did?
know what he do.
Billy Bragg made a parody of the song in a big lefty.
Oh
kinda
God,
way.
I'm sure that was real successful.
Here's the thing. Oliver Anthony made more money today than Billy Bragg has made in his entire career.
That's freaking great.
Now I'm curious why Ramaswamy didn't go right after DeSantis. Right after
Right?
DeSantis.
Yeah.
He might be the end, the last.
They're together there, I thought.
No, I mean, as it goes,
It's alphabetical order. Is that what
No,
you're
no,
saying?
no. I'm just saying they might have started off with a bang with Ron DeSantis and closing with a bang, since Ramaswamy is the second largest.
You could be right. That's no way to run a debate.
I agree.
Excuse me.
Vic, you hate every single person on that stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. They're not saying anything Donald Trump wouldn't say, right? And the
Mhm.
difference is when you have Trump in there, you can relax and go, "Whew, no war for a while, at least while he's in office."
Devin Dahl on our social media said the Trump team released a website alluding to the debate with the title Vice President Debate.
That's what it is. That's what I said. This is a race for second place.
Race for second. Hi, Zach.
Okay,
Thank you
do
for
have a
joining us.
favorite?
Of what?
Of if one of those 8 people on stage tonight could be Trump's running mate.
Oh, Vivek
Mike Pence?
Ramaswamy.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Ramaswamy, not Ramaswamy.
Not Mike Pence.
No, God no.
All right, the trash can's right behind you.
I'm
buddy.
done with Mike Pence. You got your own garbage can over there, Katie?
I'm good.
Here we go. Here's Vivek. Oh,
Very
oh.
polite here.
That was his mom.
Take off your shirt.
We love you.
So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight.
Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage?
Why you got to rub in that you're skinny?
Politician, Brett, you're right about that. I'm an entrepreneur. My parents came to this country with no money 40 years ago. I have
Every
no
immigrant's
balance.
parents have come to this country with no money. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, I feel like all of us just
Everybody says
everyone.
that.
I feel like everyone's story is like, we came with no money.
All right, Vic, I have a scoreboard over here
Okay.
for all of the dings
Okay.
and buzzes that we give any.
And who gets the gang of the buzzer?
Yep. You surprised that he's number 2?
I'm not surprised. You know, Vivek's spent a lot of time on the Gutfeld show well before he announced he was running for president. And you listen to him talk, and it's like, this guy's saying a lot of things. What's going to hurt him is that you can't vote till you're 25. That's one thing I think people are not going to go for.
Yeah. He did say some things too. I like Ramaswamy, but he did say some things about 9/11 on Tucker's podcast. And then he did say some things about Israel that I think foreign policy wonks are going to be like, oh, you
That's the
completely
thing.
lost
Trump
me.
has that all under control. The foreign policy, the no war, protecting the country, the economy. He's got it.
Yeah. I mean, and the issue, what they're all going to have to deal with is that Trump was president for 4 years. So he has the ammunition to back up what he's saying.
Yep,
They don't.
exactly right. I mean, he's a dick. I get it, but he's a good president.
You look at the 2024 budget, Republicans asked for $7.4 billion in earmarks. Democrats asked for $2.8 billion. So you tell me who are the big spenders. I think it's time for an accountant in the White House.
That's smart of her.
Get a ding.
54% of voters say the cost of groceries is a quote major problem for them. But you blame the Biden administration spending for that increase.
The 1 minute
Your administration spent
teaser
more than any prior.
that Tucker Carlson posted on Twitter about his interview with Trump that he posted like 4 hours ago has 6 million views. The
Oh my
teaser.
God. That's incredible.
Not live stream, the interview that
That's
started
incredible.
at 7:55 it keeps changing, so has almost 38 million views.
Wow. What are we up to? We up to that?
Yeah.
38 million views?
So close. So close. 37 right now.
You didn't even hear what he said. I'm
I
not
don't
writing
care.
that down.
I don't care.
That's an illegitimate buzz.
All right.
He's actually giving kudos to Trump. I mean,
Oh, did he?
yeah, he did. He's saying the administration he was part of, and he said Donald Trump and I.
Did he? I'll be damned.
I saw him speak at a fundraiser during the Trump-Pence administration, and I did not, at the time, go into it thinking that he would be a very dynamic speaker.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed.
Yeah?
Yeah. I thought Mike Pence was funny.
It's because he's a radio
I didn't-
guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know how to do
And
that
he
shit.
was carrying the water.
Ken Williams is on the
Yep.
live stream. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi, Sean. Hi, Barbara. Thank you guys for joining us.
It's weird to not have headphones on. Should we have headphones on?
We can't, we
Then
won't
we
be
can't
able
hear
to
the
hear.
TV.
Right.
God, don't use that cadence. I hate that cadence.
Da da da
You know
da
what that
da.
cadence is? I never had sexual relations with that woman.
We got a ding.
Stabilize the US dollar and go to war. The only war that I will declare as US president
will be the war on the federal administrative state that is the source of those toxic regulations acting like a wet blanket on the economy. So I'm not sure I exactly understood Mike Pence's comment, but I'll let you all parse that out. For me, it's pretty simple. That's something a U.S. president can do with focus.
I think Mike Pence meant to
Pointed
say
at him.
something.
I'll go slower this time.
Well,
You know,
here we go.
Look, I was a House conservative leader before it was cool. I actually pushed
Yeah, and
reduction
not sure
the
it
last time we
ever was
actually
cool.
reduced the national debt in the United States when I was the leader of House conservatives. I balanced budgets and cut taxes when I was governor. I mean, look, Joe Biden has weakened his
I think
country
Tim
at home
Scott
and
actually
abroad.
went after Mike Pence, and he thought that Vivek Ramaswamy did. And so I think he meant to say Tim Scott, but he went after Vivek.
What did he say there?
So here's the thing. Why are we in this mess? Part of it, and a major reason, is because how this federal government handled COVID-19 by locking down this economy. It was a mistake. It should have never happened. And in Florida, we left the country out of lockdown. We kept our state free and open. And I can tell you this, as your president, I will never let the deep state bureaucrats lock you down. You don't take somebody like Fauci and coddle him. You bring Fauci in, you sit him down, and you say, Anthony, you are fired.
Oh,
So you got to ding that one.
That was a dinger.
Here we go.
I want to respond to Mike for 1 second because he invoked me back. Listen, now that everybody's gotten their revised pre-prepared slogans out of the way, we can actually have a real discussion now.
Oh.
The reality
oh.
I wonder if this is going to go all night. Boy, I wouldn't have picked these two.
Right.
You knew
to
that
go at it.
somebody was
Yeah.
going to go at it.
I don't.
Seems
I
so passive.
Pence,
Yeah.
Vivek, though, like,
I feel like he's kind of looking at all of them, targeting them. I think he's saying all of you have your
Pence?
little Vivek
Oh,
Ramaswamy.
yeah.
say you want a revolution.
I think Brett Baird said no.
I was going to say, Burgum or Hutchinson haven't even talked yet.
Hi. I'm just happy to be here.
First time I've heard this guy's voice.
I want to be your
He
president.
opened dolphin moths just came out of his mouth. I'm trying to be here.
I don't even. It doesn't even matter how good he does, right?
Right.
Doug Burgum is not.
He does
gonna
have a
be-
broken leg right now.
Oh, he does?
He was playing he might have been playing basketball this morning and broke his leg.
This morning?
Yeah, this morning. And his team the whole day was like, I don't think he's gonna make it. Everyone's like, okay.
That's why I said break a leg.
They lost. His basketball team.
Meatball Ron.
When Trump called out Ron DeSantis at the beginning of the stream with Tucker, it made me think about Meatball Ron. Like, man,
Sean says, did Meatball Ron get his
why
B12
have we not
shots?
used it. What are you on? What chat room are you in over there?
I'm in all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
just
gonna
because
go to one that you weren't. I was gonna go to one that.
I'm in all of them.
Where are you on? What are you on?
I'm going back and forth between Rumble and Facebook.
Okay. So here's another thing that Trump did when he, at the beginning of that, he called out Ron DeSantis and he called out Asia Hutchinson. He said that he didn't belong on the stage, and he said Ada, and he said, I know his name is Asia, but I call him Ada.
Why?
Well, Tucker asked why, and he said, I would tell you, but I don't want to get in trouble. I think the first time in an interview that he was asked about Asia Hutchinson, he said Ada.
Yeah.
I think he said it as a mistake,
Oh.
but because Trump cannot admit to any mistake, even just misspeaking, he now feels it necessary
It's
to call him
Ada.
Ada and just say, I know his name is Asia, but I call him Ada because the first time he
Messed it
talked
up.
about it, he messed it up and then said, you know, his name is Ada. Oh yeah, I know that. I
choose to
did
call
it on
him
purpose.
Ada.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Are you buying it?
Ada could be a girl's name.
Are you buying it?
Ada could be a girl's name.
Are you buying that
I have to see I have no evidence.
You don't remember that? You don't remember I said it the very first, it was a couple months ago.
Ada.
And now he calls him Ada all the time. I am convinced that he just made a mistake.
He's just not owning up to it.
Yeah, but he's not going to say that he made a mistake.
And that's him. That's him.
I have to make a comment about Brett Baer's hair.
Clark Kent, Superman.
It is big. That is big hair. And stiff. And I love Brett Baer.
Easy.
I call these two the Arizona twins.
Why?
And they called Arizona too early in 2020.
Oh, yeah. I did forget about that. I do like Brett Baer, though. I like him.
I liked him a lot before.
Before that.
Don't like him much right now. By the way, if you're watching this on Rumble, if you could share it on your social media, that'd be great. You know, when we do these things sometimes, we're usually on the front page of Rumble, which is kind of cool, you know.
Treats Republicans versus Democrats. Biden was on the beach while those people were suffering. He was asked about it. He said, no comment. Are you kidding me? As somebody that's handled disasters in Florida, you got to be activated. You got to be there. You got to be present. You got to be helping people who are doing this. And here's the deal.
So is that a yes? Is that a yes? Is that a hand raise?
You do not.
I think it was a hand raise for him, and my hands in my pockets.
No. I raised it.
Let us be honest as Republicans. I'm the only person on the stage who isn't bought and paid for, so I can say this. The climate change agenda is a hoax. The climate change agenda is a hoax. And we know that it's
Oy, oy, oy. I don't know. Is that bad to say that he's the only one that isn't bought and paid for? Like, is that worth that many boos?
If it's true, is it true?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Could be.
I
I'm
I'm afraid I think that
He's too cocky.
Vivek's Chris has had enough. It's actually a good line by Chris Christie.
What's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here was Barack Obama, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur.
And that's a bad line. It's a good line and then a bad line.
What was the good line?
Vivek, I think his plan is to be bombastic. Like at the beginning there, when he first did it, it was like, all right, he's here to go. Now only 15, 20
Look at
minutes
her
in.
go. She did use that, and that was smart of her.
What did she say?
She just said, this is exactly what Margaret Thatcher said. If you want something done wrong, ask a man. If you want something done right, ask what
Right.
I mean, she's the only woman up there, so why not? Play the card.
Play the
But
card.
I
Play the
think
card.
Vivek is in danger of trying too hard.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But that also
It was kind of cool at the beginning, and he got good reaction at the beginning, but now
I think
it
that's
looks like
what
he's
they're
trying
going to
to-
use against him is pairing that with his age. I think they're going to be like, you're trying to be this rebellious 38-year-old, and all of us have experience on you.
Absolutely.
Are you bought? Absolutely not. I mean, the American people deserve. There's a debate about the issues.
Whoops.
You can't just say bought and paid for if you're not saying by who.
Yeah.
He said everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Vivek said everybody on this stage is bought and paid for except him.
By who?
But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
right.
they can say
Them. They.
They, them, they.
They, them.
Kids who are devastated by poverty, devastated by the challenges of life. I came to the conclusion that America can do for anyone what she's done for me if we focus on restoring hope, creating opportunities, and protecting America. If we want the environment to be better, and we all do, the best thing to do is to bring our jobs home from China. If we create
Can I say something?
new jobs in
I haven't-
the America plan, we will have a better economy. And
I've never heard Tim Scott say something that I didn't agree with.
Yeah.
I agree.
Or at least didn't like what he was saying.
I love what he's saying. He's a likable person.
He is.
The only thing that I have to say that I know his camp is going to turn around and give him criticism for, he's got to do something different
With the teeth?
like he looks a little bit nervous. He looks a little bit nervous.
Okay.
I don't know how to fix that, but he's got to do something different with his facial expressions.
The Arizona Twins. Martha McCallum and Brett Baer.
Oh,
Check in with
Speaker
Trump.
Tim
I am.
Jones.
Exactly what I'm doing.
He says, well, if anybody was hoping for a wild ride tonight, it looks like the circus wagons just rolled into the
I know.
arena.
I agree, and I like it. Here we go. This is why I don't like. I gotta get my headphones since it's driving me nuts. Like if I do this, can they hear it?
Yeah, they can
Okay.
hear it.
Let's listen
I'll
to
turn
Trump.
this
Let's
down.
listen to Trump and
Let's
Tucker.
listen.
Let's listen in on Trump and Tucker for a second here.
20, I said we did much better. We did. You got to base it on the number of votes. We got many more votes in 20 than we did in 16. But the election was rigged. It was a rigged election. And with COVID, they used COVID to cheat in a lot of different things, and we have so much on it. It's like so easy. We had judges that didn't want to look. We had people didn't want to get involved. Do say they could. She's a conspiracy theorist if you say anything about the election. But I have never seen spirit like there is right now. Even coming down here, just the people on the road that are just absolutely going crazy. And the reason is, I think they like me, and I know they love my policies. I hope they like me too. You know, a lot of people say they don't like me, but they like my I think they like me. But
That's a typical.
I have never seen spirit like it is right now. And the reason is because crooked Joe Biden is so bad. He's the worst
He
president.
said
in the
earlier
history
that
of our
there's a
country.
poll.
I don't think he's going to make it to the gate. But,
There's
you
at
know,
least
you
one
never
poll out
know.
there that shows him with an
But he's a
80%
corrupt
lead.
person,
In
so corrupt that I took
Republicans?
the name of Hillary. You know, I don't do two people.
I'm
at
not
one
sure.
time.
I've seen
I took
the
the crooked
80%.
Hillary, and I
40,
made it.
50.
I retired, then that was a good day for
yeah.
her. I bet she was
What makes me crazy is you see
And I used
way
to-
too early head-to-head polls with him against Biden,
Joe is-
and he's up about 4 points. 43% of America want this shit to continue. Really? Right?
Yeah.
Who wants to pay this much for gas?
Triathlete or any kind of an athlete, you look at him, he can't walk to the helicopter. He walks. He can't lift his feet out of the grass. You know, it's only 2 inches at the White House, right? It's not a lot. But you watch him and it looks like he's walking on toothpicks.
Yeah, that's right. One for Trump.
I've never heard that saying in my life. It looks like
Perfect.
he's walking on toothpicks.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, that was the most annoying laugh, but that is great.
That was good. That was good.
Speeches seem
He's walking on toothpicks. That's what they don't have. They don't have that.
It's terrible on the beach. It's terrible on the beach.
She looks terrible on the
Well, he
beach.
can't walk through the sand. You know, sand
He's
is
got
not easy
hairy
to walk through,
legs.
But when he walks through it, he can't walk through the sand.
Look at it. You don't want to vote for him. He looks terrible on the beach.
Thinks he looks fabulous at the beach. I think he looks horrible at the beach. Plus, the beach doesn't represent what the president's supposed to
No,
be.
it doesn't.
He's supposed to
He's
be
right. The
looking-
beach
He
does
is
not
right.
look-
He's supposed to be
Except
looking
people
at
think I look great on the beach.
Horrible war that we're very much involved in with Russia.
You saw that
Yeah.
get a drink of water moment
Oh, no.
in Hawaii with
Oh,
Biden?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Holy moly.
I thought you were going to say, did you see that?
He had no idea where he was.
Nope.
What, Katie, were you gonna say something?
Tim Jones says Tony Colombo dusting off those old master producer skills and going to the Trump Tucker interview during the GOP debate commercial break pro level.
On his phone.
I thought you were going to say, did you see what Putin did to the Wagner Group guy?
What's that?
Putin got the Wagner Group guy.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm on Biden.
So back to Biden, I'm interested. So you think
Here
he's
we go.
failing? He obviously is failing. I think it's clear to everybody. But that would make Kamala Harris the candidate?
Well, not really. I mean, I guess they'd have maybe a free for all. A lot of people say she has to remain for certain reasons, the candidate. She has to. I don't think that's true, actually. I don't think that other people would stand for it. She has some bad moments. Her moments are almost as bad as his. I think his are worse, actually.
Yeah. She seems pretty senile too.
She speaks in rhyme. It's weird. It's weird. But she has bad moments. And
Rhyme? What do you?
well, the way she talks, the bus will go here and then the bus will go there because that's what buses do. It's weird.
It's actually pretty good.
This is not
Great.
a
He's great.
president of the United States future.
All right, debate's back on.
And,
All right.
We'll check back in.
probably
Well,
have-
we might. We'll check back in. We'll watch them both.
There are more swing state referendums that are coming up as we head into the elections as well on this. So Governor Haley, what do you say to your party and to your state, which today confirmed a 6-week abortion law as well, especially the impact on women suburban voters across this country? Thank you, Martha. I am unapologetically pro-life, not because the Republican Party tells me to be, but because my husband was adopted and I had
Huh.
trouble having both of
Do you know why
them.
I'm pro-life?
Surrounded by-
Because my
You're
wife was adopted.
Having said that,
So
And
do
if
we?
Annette chose abortion instead of adoption, I wouldn't have my wife.
unelected justices didn't
What else am I going to do? What else am I going to be? Right?
I get it.
every woman and man. Now it's been put in the hands of the people.
Well, you know what?
That's great. When it comes
Nikki
to
gets
the
a
federal
gets a
ban,
green for that.
let's be honest with the American people and say it will take 60 Senate votes. It will take a majority of the House. So in order to do that, let's find consensus. Can't we all agree that we should ban late-term abortions?
Yes.
Can't we all agree that we should encourage adoptions? Can't we all
Yes.
agree that doctors and nurses who don't believe in abortion shouldn't have to perform them? Can't we all agree that contraception should be available? And can't we all agree that we are not going to put a woman in jail or give her the death penalty if she gets an abortion? Let's treat this like
All right.
a respectful issue that it is and humanize the situation and stop demonizing the situation.
I'm all for a
That was
woman's
a good answer.
right to choose adoption.
Mhm.
See what I did
Agree.
there? See what I did there?
Mhm. I agree.
One of the biggest financial backers said that you need to quote shift to get moderates or you will lose. What do you say to him and others who say politically that is a tough thing to sell nationally?
Well, I would say we sold the biggest election landslide victory in the history of the Republican Party in the state of Florida in 2022. That's what I did. We can win. But second of all, look, you got to do what you think is right. I believe in a culture of life. I was proud to sign
Just
the
move
heartbeat
Yeah?
bill. I remember one of the most impactful.
You look good way up
moments of
close.
my life. The heartbeat of my
Wow,
life.
that was really hard to get on this chair. I don't know who sits on this chair on a regular basis, but
Of all three of my-
Too high?
it's just like one of those chairs that's like old and used and
Okay.
high.
Be serious. How much have you had to drink?
I've had a beer. Shut up.
Wow.
Get out of here. Go away.
Okay, since they're talking about the abortion issue, this 6-week ban, which is very similar to what Missouri, the heartbeat bill, whatever you want to call it, seems to be the thing that's kind of catching on as kind of a compromise. If that was the case nationally, that was the law, 6 weeks. Would you consider that issue not at the top of the list anymore? Would that be maybe not something that you are completely in favor of, but would that be enough for you to say, okay, let's look at these. Now let's focus on.
I just want to make sure I understand the question.
Sure.
So you're asking me if the 6-week heartbeat bill,
Yeah.
if it were a federal law,
Yes.
would I agree with that and move on?
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah.
Or state by state? What I mean, what because that's where we're at now. It's
Right,
state by state,
right.
and that's what happened when Roe v. Wade got overturned. With people don't understand.
Yeah, which is the way it should be,
Right.
state by state.
Right.
That's the way it should be.
Right.
But hypothetically, right now, abortion is and always has been one of the top. There are people that are single issue voters.
Absolutely,
and
you're right.
Abortion
You're right.
is that big of an issue that it's one of those things that can be a single issue.
Yep.
Would it not be as dire for you, or maybe some, in your opinion, other conservatives that are very pro-life, if
It were a federal law.
the 6 week,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
if late term abortion, partial birth, all of that was gone,
Yeah.
would you not say I'm happy with it, but would you say this is good now?
Let's move on.
Move
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You would?
Yep.
Would you, Katie? Did you hear that question?
I didn't.
The 6 week abortion bill that's passing in a bunch of states. Is that a good compromise that you think a lot of Republicans that are pro-life, they would never obviously say they're okay with it, but you think that it would be acceptable and something that would maybe make abortion not as highly.
Well, if you look at
as
the
it is.
data that's already happening in places that have made that 6-week abortion law in those states, and God, there's 2 states that just happened that came out with the data saying that 50% of abortions have been cut down. Now, they didn't say anything about adoption.
Mhm.
They didn't say what happened to baby after baby was born, which is also the other step to this
Yeah.
equation.
Yeah.
If we're going to say 6-week abortion, which I do agree with, you also have to say, what do we do with babies and how do we support adoption and how do we support foster care and things like that and give them the tools that we need to help baby after baby's born. But I don't know federally. They just had a
Doug
great
Burgum
debate.
is carrying the Constitution.
Yeah, he's like, here we go.
How conservative.
It's tough because Mike Pence just made a really good point about this not being a state by state or a local issue, it being a moral issue. And that is a very heartstringed approach, I think, for a lot of conservatives. It's like, okay, if you say federally this 6-week abortion throughout the land of the United States, that's what we should do. Is that more important, or is it more important to keep fighting for something because it's morally?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess
Right.
my answer is I don't know.
Yeah.
I think for me, there has to be a compromise though, because abortion is, for lack of a better term, popular. More people would be pro-choice than they would be pro-life in the United States. So you do have to come to a compromise,
And
unfortunately.
I think it's a flashpoint. I think
It is.
2022 came down to that. As Tony said, people are one issue voters.
Yes.
And when Roe v. Wade got overturned,
Yes.
that was the flashpoint.
I agree with that.
People who are one issue voters and maybe not be completely educated on the situation.
I agree with that, Vic.
That's why we got screwed in 2022.
Yeah. As the only pro-choice personality, I think, on the radio station.
What's that?
As me being the only pro-choice personality host on the radio station, to me, that's about as perfect as it could be, because I am vehemently against partial birth,
Yeah, right.
late term.
Right. That's murder.
Oh yeah,
That's not abortion. That's murder.
I agree. I agree 100%. So yeah, a heartbeat bill, a 6-week, 8-week, whatever, whatever it is if we can, and like you said, Katie, like the stats show that when a law like that goes into place, the number of abortions drops significantly.
It does.
And
Mississippi is the state
Yeah.
that I was thinking of.
so
And I would say, Tony,
I like that. I liked the Missouri bill. I liked how when it was first written. Now it's triggered after Roe v. Wade it
Yeah.
changed, but when it was written,
But
we were,
you
I think,
are-
the first state to put something that in, and I thought that was
you're old
really good
school
way.
pro-choice. You're not pro-abortion, which is what that's become. You're like like you're very old school pro-choice.
what did Clinton say?
Safe,
Uh,
rare, and
something
legal.
safe and rare.
Safe, rare, and legal.
Something safe and rare. I can't remember the first word.
I don't remember.
Since our creator gave us inalienable rights that include life. That is a list. That is an issue.
I like that.
We must solve. We can't leave it to Illinois. We can't leave it to Minnesota. We can't leave it to Illinois. We must
Illinois,
I said
Illinois.
Illinois twice.
Illinois, Minnesota, or Illinois.
I think he's getting emotional.
What I would love is for someone to ask Biden and Kamala Harris, are they for 38 weeks? Are they for 39 weeks? Are they for 40 weeks? Because that's what the media needs to be asking.
Another issue is
She's right.
America and the crime crisis, the homelessness
Looks like they're all Dallas Cowboy fans. You see the stars on the podiums? When they show the long shot again, look,
Yeah.
they're Dallas Cowboy fans.
Yeah. It's the right colors too.
Murders in Los Angeles, New York,
Did you know 780 people?
What
780 people are there?
are in the audience?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Is that a lot?
didn't. I think that's a lot.
Yeah,
I think it's a great turnout.
I think they could have filled more.
No doubt.
But I think their limit, I think the capacity
Mhm.
at the
I'm sure
venue
that's-
was
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm
maybe
sure it's-
800.
I'm glad. I want to see people come out. You know,
Yeah.
there's too many people who vote because somebody tells them to vote. You know,
Then they go on.
Al Sharpton tells black people to vote for Democrats, which is the worst thing they can do for themselves
Yeah.
because Democrats haven't done anything for them. They don't even like them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's extraordinary to think about the violence that's claiming innocent lives literally every week in every major city in this country. And yet Democrats and liberal prosecutors in major metropolitan areas continue to work out their fanciful agendas, to do bail reform and go easy. What we need is
And
strong
gun bans.
The law enforcement. We need leadership in Washington, D.C. that will marshal the resources of the states, marshal the resources of the American people. But let me also say it's about opportunity. A lot of people don't know that those Trump-Pence tax cuts that we got signed into law go away at the end of
This is
2020.
interesting. It's at least the second time that he's done that.
Yeah.
Is he
Just strategy.
Is he going to is he going to try to highlight the
Here's the
Trump
strategy.
administration?
Here's the strategy.
Or is he going to distance himself because of the fallout that they
If Trump does end up at one of these debates and Pence is involved, and then Trump attacks Pence, people are going to say, see, he talked nice about you in the debates and now you're attacking him. That's the strategy.
Oh,
Sympathy strategy. Because he's a pussy.
Whoa, baby. No FCC on the internet.
I feel like now we're looking back at Chris Christie and I'm like, when the hell was the last time he talked? Like, I just feel like who's talking?
Twice so far. Two small comments. That's it.
Significant urban crime. And the problem is not going to be solved by more money. The problem is that these prosecutors in these localities in the states are refusing to do their job.
Is it too easy to get on stage?
Is it too easy to get on this?
Yeah. Should it be harder? Should there
I think 8 people's too many.
So should it not be 1% in the polls and the whatever the levels?
Like
you
my
know,
question
I
is-
thought that 40,000 was low for campaign money.
in a-
I thought that was pretty low.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was going to be like
in a
60,
country that's
70.
350 million, you only need like
So you telling me there are guys
30,000 of
who are on here have less than that? Not that didn't make this, have less than that?
They all made the $40,000 from
The ones that didn't make
individual
this
voters.
debate have less than $40,000?
Yeah, they
well,
didn't. Yeah,
or they're not
yeah.
polling 1%.
it's one of those.
Is it a combination of the
It's
two, or is
you
it?
have to
either
you
or?
have to have no. It's you have to
Combination.
combination. You have to have 1%.
But $40,000 from
That's where-
unique.
That's where it gets back to your question. Is are there too many people on stage?
Yeah.
1%. Why are you here?
Yeah,
It's never going to
That's what
grow.
I'm asking.
1% is never
Exactly.
going to go more than double digits. Look, they're all Cowboys fans.
I would have loved it if someone would have worn like a bright red jacket and a blue tie because it feels like everyone's wearing a blue
Well, they have
jacket.
to wear
and
a red tie.
I know. They have to look like that.
Yeah.
They have to have that outfit.
If Fetterman was out there, it'd be jeans and a hoodie.
He changed his. I thought he changed
Did
his.
you see?
I didn't see. I
the
just read the
mustache?
headline.
Did you
What?
see the mustache?
Is he trying to go undercover?
Fetterman.
Oh yeah, Walter White,
Looks like Walter White.
Heisenberg look.
Oh God.
Lost a bet with his son.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That makes him a good senator.
Yeah. Yeah. The two headlines about Democratic senators this week were John Fetterman has a mustache because he lost a bet to his son, and Dianne Feinstein doesn't even make her own
Vote.
personal financial decisions
Yeah.
for her
Right.
because her family doesn't trust her to make those decisions. She's still making them for
She looks
Americans.
like Popeye's mother.
Mike Pence hates Vivek Ramaswamy. Here we go. Here we go again.
Pence's people definitely told him go after Ramaswamy.
I actually agree with Pence on that. Vivek saying that we are not in a good, that we're in a dark time, and Pence just said you're equating the American people with the current administration because the current administration is a dark.
There's
time.
got to be a separation there because people are good.
Yeah,
So do we give Pence a ding for that?
it's your dings.
Give
and
him
buzzes.
one.
You haven't buzzed anybody.
Yeah, I buzzed Martha McCallum and Brett Baer.
I don't have them on the score. If somebody calls him Meatball Ron,
I love it.
they win, in my mind.
All right, listen. I would like my partner Ken Williams.
He's on there.
I know. I'm going to read it. What are you, Thunder Stealer?
Go ahead. Tell us what he said.
He said, "Ding ding to Ramaswamy for the mental health answer, bringing back facilities to help the mentally ill." So in honor
Amen
of
to
my
that.
partner, I got to give Ramaswamy a ding
Yeah.
for that. Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks, Ken.
Wow, Ken completely disagrees with you.
Is Ken a Trump supporter?
Yeah, a little bit.
He completely disagrees that we're in a
He
dark
said-
time.
He said, "I feel like the fact that Vivek said America's in a dark place right now. I like the fact that Vivek said it's a dark place right now. Because in a way we are."
I agree with it. I agree with him that we that type of pandering, like right now, It's Morning Again in America commercial
Yeah.
would be very, I think, out of touch.
Right.
But I do also believe that darkness is created by the federal government,
No,
and that is
no
not
doubt.
necessarily
think-
the case
I think it's a
in
dichotomy.
communities across the country.
I think on one side you have the dark, meaning, people can't pay for their groceries and their medicine and their gas, right? That's a dark place. But what Pence is saying is America's stronger and we've got will and we've got fortitude, So I think it's kind of a dichotomy that,
Yeah.
that one statement doesn't answer both questions.
Yeah. I agree
Okay.
with
Good
that. I agree with that.
analysis. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Why do I look? Do I look not?
No, you look fine.
He doesn't look too good.
He looks a little, kind of looks like a ghost. Can I see the remote real quick? I know. I don't mean to make you nervous. You gotta throw it, huh? Oh,
He does look a little bit like a ghost.
what's that person's name?
Ada.
By the way,
Mhm.
tomorrow, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm-
I'm yawning. That's probably why you're like, are you okay?
Oh, Tomorrow-
commercial break.
Okay, I'm going to go pee. Tomorrow, Donald Trump
I'm gonna join the Trump Tucker.
Donald Trump surrenders tomorrow, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And tomorrow we just happen to have his attorney, Christina Bob.
Amazing. What time?
Yeah.
Ken, say
what
what time?
Look on the Facebook thing. Ken will tell you.
Okay.
Ken,
I'll
what
put
time
it.
is Christina Bob?
That's incredible. Oh, is that Megan Fox?
That could be better timing for us.
It is Megan Fox.
All right, I'm going to be right back. Is that
Okay.
guys?
Yep. I'm gonna jump into Tucker.
Expendables 4.
I'm gonna jump into Tucker Trump here. Let's see what they're talking about.
35,000 people because of the mosquito.
What an interesting time to tune in.
One of the true
I wonder what the question was.
wonders of the world, as he said, one of the 9 wonders of the world.
Wonders of the world.
It's one of the 7.
The mosquito.
This happened a little while ago, you know. 9 wonders of the world. He could make 9 wonders. He would have been better off if he stuck with it.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
said, yeah, I think it's 9.
We talked about that when it
This is
happened.
one of the
When
true
Biden said
7
the
wonders of the world.
9 wonders of the
And
world.
you take a look at the Panama Canal. It's such an incredible engineering marvel. We sold it under Jimmy Carter. We sold it to Panama for $1. The following day, they quadrupled the amount of money that ships had to pay to get across. They didn't lose one ship. And now they've made it much bigger, and now they've widened it. They've doubled it, right? They've more than doubled it. And it's one of the most profitable things. Any time it's just incredible, right? We gave it away for $1. China now controls it. They actually
China.
control the Panama Canal. They run it. They
I
control
wonder
it.
how he's doing.
And we shouldn't let that happen. And we can't let China
Who?
be in
Vic?
Cuba.
You just
And
gotta go to
they'll
the
get
bathroom.
out. If I'm president, they'll get out.
What?
Because I had a very good relationship with President Xi, but he
Like, is he,
respected
like-
this country. He respected me. And he'll get out.
73 million
We can't
views.
let them run the Panama
so far.
Canal. We built the Panama
Wow.
Canal. Should have
Wow,
never
wow,
been
wow.
given to Panama. We should have had it. But we gave it for $1. Think of it. They quadrupled in one day. They lifted the fees.
One
which are,
day.
pretty big for these massive ships to go through, right? Rather than going around the Cape and to all the tremendous storms, such beauty, such, when it's beautiful stuff. But you didn't want to get caught in those storms. Those were storms that wiped out the biggest ships. And we go through the Panama Canal. We built it and we gave it away for $1. Think of that. How stupid are we? We have done the stupidest things in this country. And now we have a president that can't put 2 sentences together.
I'm afraid to drink this monster because it's almost 9 o'clock at night.
I just opened a new one.
But these people,
But you can take that. I might drink half of that
and you got away with that one because of COVID.
because
so he
we're
sort of
really
got
not going to
away
be
with
home
it.
until like
Cheated on the
12.
election. But you have people that are very smart, but they're fascists and they're radical left lunatics, and they're destroying our country with the all-electric cars and the windows
Coffee, I'll be
all
all
over the
right.
place, which, by the way, don't work.
Or I won't
They're
be.
most of them made in China. For the most part, they're made in China. Germany a little bit, but China. But you look at what's happening to our country, even no voter ID. I mean, why don't they want voter ID? There's only one reason they don't want voter ID, because they want to cheat. Who doesn't want-
Sean on our
the Democrat convention,
YouTube
the last one,
chat said that
they had voter ID that was this big. It looked like a prison
Doug
card.
Burgum looks like an old generic Fonzie.
It's like that.
Every-
That's
That
good.
makeup?
That's good.
I have never seen someone so pale in my life.
That's good. That's
But
funny.
To get in to vote, if you buy groceries, if you buy practically anything now, you have ID on a card.
Anybody win in your opinion right now?
I'll tell you that I don't think Ron DeSantis is winning.
You do not.
No, I think that he is not. Someone said this and it's stuck in my brain now. If you are not loose and it doesn't necessarily, if it's not loose and it isn't natural, and that is what's happening with Ron is saying a lot of good stuff. Meatball is saying some good things. And I respect that. And I like Ron DeSantis a lot, but he is the most, even compared to Ada Hutchinson or whatever. I love
call
all the
him Ada.
nicknames. I love it all. I call him Ada.
I call him Ada.
Ron is the most robotic.
Yeah.
To me so far on that debate stage. And I don't think that could help you because we're used to people being loose.
I think you're right. And I think there's something to that, because if there's one thing that Donald Trump is authentic.
I mean, listen to what we've been.
People love that.
I love it. I want, that's what I want in someone. Even Obama was Good.
Oh, so they're asking about Trump's indictment. This is going to be interesting.
They should have opened with this.
This is going to be interesting because you have to.
The eventual Republican nominee. If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support?
There's going to have to be a way here to like say that Trump's being treated unfairly, but not give him too much. What was that question? Did he ask if they would?
Pardon him?
Yeah.
Here's the bottom line. Someone's got to stop normalizing this conduct. Okay? Now
Okay.
whether or not
Man,
you believe
boy, did
criminal charges are
Vic
right
miss this.
or wrong, the conduct is beneath the office
Okay,
of
but
President
the
of the United
conduct,
States.
there's a big difference between conduct and crime.
This is the question
you
you
just
missed.
What happened?
They're asking about Trump's indictment. And yeah, and Chris Christie they asked if they would pardon Donald Trump.
He said no.
And Chris Christie said no. And then he said, because somebody has got to stand up and stop and say that his conduct is not okay.
I just want to. I want everybody that's streaming. Thank you so much for sharing. I just looked at our numbers; they're incredible. If you're streaming on Twitter, please share. Facebook, please share. Rumble, please share, and on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching along with us.
Awesome.
140 people
There's
are
a
viewing us
big
on Twitter.
Difference between conduct and the behavior and the way Donald Trump carries himself, and whether or not he if it deserves 4 criminal indictments. Chris Christie's making a apples to oranges comparison.
Absolutely. You can be a dick and still be a good president
Listen to all that.
You can be a dick and not a criminal.
and not be a criminal.
Listen to all these dudes.
You catching all these buzzes for Christie?
I am.
Let's go. Okay. One for Brett Baer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said
I
let the
agree.
crowd do whatever they
Don't tell the people
want.
if they can't cheer or boo, knock it off.
Yeah, you don't tell the crowd what to do.
Chris Christie cannot possibly believe that all of the charges against Donald
Of course.
Trump are legitimate. There's no way. What is he talking about?
And here's the thing, we've stood up for law and order. I did it as U.S. attorney. I did it as governor. And I am not going to bow to anyone when we have a president of the United States who disrespects the Constitution. He said, Martha, it's important to say that the president said, Donald Trump said, it's okay to suspend the Constitution. Now, the oath you take is to preserve, protect, and defend, not suspend.
Did he say that?
Not in the way he's saying it. Oh, sorry, guys. That's all right, sorry. No, that's a fake. That's a false positive.
That's a false. That's
It's
a
false positive.
false buzzer. We have a false buzzer. Or ding. False ding.
False ding. Ken says Brett doesn't like the audience loving on Trump, period. He's right. Kenny's right.
Why didn't they? I would have liked to hear more of these candidates' reaction to.
Who did the right thing?
Mike Pence on January 6th, because he did. You and I can fight about it later if you want to. We're right now.
Nah.
If you believe that the election
Was stolen.
was rigged or
I do.
funny business or whatever, I get that. I completely get that. But to think that Mike Pence should have been the one to unprecedentedly, possibly unconstitutionally,
Then don't come on the
one
debate.
stop.
Don't come on the debate and talk about your friendship with Donald Trump. then.
No, I agree. I agree. But
You're
this
two
question
dings behind
is,
on
the
Scott.
question is,
Scott got two
yep,
dings.
yep. The question is, did Pence do the right thing? And I think he did the only thing he could. That's what I think.
Because this DOJ uses their power, uses their authority, not just against political opponents, but against conservatives and conservative causes. It is time for a change in America, and I will bring that change to the greatest nation on God's green earth.
Do you believe that Mike Pence did the right thing on January 6th?
So here's what we need to do. We need to end
Yes or no?
the weaponization of these federal agencies.
Yes. Yes.
I know, but here's the thing. This election is not about January 6th.
I will give Ron DeSantis, he's very polite.
He doesn't need to answer this question, though. But answer the question.
All these other issues, but we've got to focus on your future. We've got to focus on reversing the decline of our country.
If they asked me that question, I'd say, come on, you guys don't want to litigate 2020.
That you focus on the mission above all else. You can't get distracted. So Republicans, we've got to look forward and we've got to make
Yes or no?
that we're bringing them.
Did Mike Pence do the right thing? Ron? It's an easy one. It's an easy one.
I think the American people deserve to know whether everyone on this stage agrees that I kept my oath to the Constitution.
I agree. Everybody does. We should have an answer. I agree. I would like to have everybody just say yes or freaking no. I don't want to hear the dissertation.
I got no beef.
We can move on if you just say yes or no.
You got no beef, though. Robert, who just joined us. Hi, Robert. No one answers the question, pivots to talking points. It's Robert
Tim
saying.
Scott answered. Tim Scott said yes. And that means he's beating everybody else by 60.
You did not raise your hand. I did not raise my hand because there's an important issue we as a party have to face. And over a year ago, I said that Donald Trump was morally disqualified from being president again as a result of what happened on January 6th. More people are who says he may be disqualified.
Okay, I made another tally and I made it a really long one.
That's great.
Has anybody ever seen Asia Hutchinson out during the day?
What do you think is a vampire?
You said it. I didn't say it.
I don't know.
Look at his eyes.
Not wearing a
Look
cross.
at his skin.
Nice tie, though.
I don't think I've ever heard him talk until today.
Ken says Ada is a non-factor.
I agree.
Ada. Everybody's calling him Ada. I think that's so funny.
I don't want you. I was gonna say if Mike Pence is standing there going, yeah, you're not helping me, Chris. Why couldn't Ron DeSantis just say yes or no? That's not a tough question. Did Mike Pence do the right thing on January 6th?
What would be your answer?
But you're not running for president. If you were, you better have an answer.
No, I'm not. So I don't.
Saying that Mike Pence did the right thing is not validation of the election. It's if there's places there are There are unanswered questions, big time unanswered questions that puts a lot of doubt in people's minds, including mine. But
That's a
those
smart
questions
answer.
need to be asked to the people in the states that are responsible for them happening.
Yeah.
She gave a
It's
great
not
answer.
validation of the results to say that Mike Pence solely. We don't want to. We've opened a lot of Pandora's boxes in this country in the last handful of years.
Yeah, that's true.
You want a vice president of a. You don't want an administration that just lost an election. You want a precedent set where the vice president stops that election, because, oh my goodness. What did Nikki say? Did she say yes or no?
She wasn't asked that directly. She just said, if the allow the American people to decide, what are we up here debating on this? It's up to the American public. If they think that he's fine, then he's fine. If they don't, then it's on, they vote. I think that's
Scotty says, somebody throw Christy a Twinkie. So how come the question is never, do you think the 2020 election was, and
Right.
get all of their answers on that, and then
that's
pressure
a very
them.
different question.
Right.
That's a very different.
It
question.
is, but nobody asks that. It's only,
Well, they
did Pence
should.
do the right thing,
I'd
yes
love
or
to hear
no?
him ask that. I'd love to hear him ask that.
When I was governor of the state of Indiana, it usually follows a finding of guilt and contrition by the individual that's been convicted. So, look, if I'm president of the United States, we'll give fair consideration to any pardon request. But if I may, it's not about looking back at January 2021. It's about January 20th, 2017. I put my left hand on Ronald Reagan's Bible. I raised my right hand. And I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
He was Trump's vice president.
And it ended with a prayer.
What's that?
He was Trump's vice president.
Was he?
It was a promise that I made to the American people.
I'm running out of note paper. I'll be right back. Don't let anything cool happen while I'm
What
gone.
are you running out of?
Paper.
Oh my gosh.
Don't
Yeah.
let anything cool happen while I'm gone.
Don't let anything what?
What?
Don't we have to not let something? I don't know. So I didn't hear the rest.
Don't let anything happen.
That the issues surrounding the 2020 election and the controversies around January 6th had not come to this, had not come to criminal proceedings. I would rather they had been resolved by the American people and the American people alone. But no one's above the law, and President Trump is entitled to the presumption of innocence that every
I'll give him
American
that.
is entitled to, and we will make sure and extend that to him. But the American people deserve to know that the president asked me in his request that I reject or return votes unilaterally, power that no vice president in American history had ever exercised or taken.
Give Pence a ding for saying Trump was innocent until proven guilty.
And I always will. I had no right to overturn the election, and Kamala Harris will have no right to overturn the election when we beat them in 2024.
Thank you, Vice President Pence. Now, moving on to other issues. The U.S. has committed nearly $77 billion in aid to the Ukraine war. The administration is now asking Congress for $24 billion more. Regardless of that, the specifics of that plan, is there anyone on stage who would not support the increase of more funding to Ukraine?
We would not support it. Europe needs to step up. Europe step up and do their job.
Mr. Ramaswamy.
Only person
That's
that
the
raised his
highest
hand.
DeSantis did too.
Oh, did he?
Pull their weight. Right now, they're not doing it. And I think we need to do it. And I think our support should be contingent on them doing it. And I would have support in China to be able to take China and do what we need to do with China.
That's
Mr. Ramaswamy, you would
that's
not
it.
support any
Blowing in the wind. That was.
Oh.
See that?
Oh, good catch, Tony.
Yeah, because he did raise his hand, Katie, but it was a half raise and then all of that explanation. So it was a played it both
Yes,
ways.
but.
Yes, but exactly. Yes, but.
Don't forget East Palestine.
I can't believe how many people are booing when Vivek Ramaswamy says something that he's been saying for the last 2 months. I'm like, he's been saying this for 2 months. The one person claps.
Let's hear what Fatty has to say.
Oh boy.
Never mind.
And let me tell you, I want you all to look around this arena tonight and imagine that every one of these seats was filled. And if every one of them was filled, there would still be 2,500 more children outside to make over 20,000 who have been abducted, stolen, ripped from their mothers and fathers, and brought back to Russia to be programmed to fight their own families. They have gouged out people's eyes, cut off their ears, and shot people in the back of the head, men, and then gone into those homes and raped the daughters and the wives who were left as widows and orphans. This is the Vladimir Putin. This is the Vladimir Putin who Donald Trump called brilliant and a genius. If we don't stand up against this type of autocracy,
Yeah, I was
in the world,
Fuck off.
No.
Sorry.
No FCC on the internet.
Sorry.
Vice President Pence was mentioned, you get 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, let me be clear. Anybody that thinks that we can't solve the problems here in the United States and be the leader of the free world has a pretty small view of the greatest nation on earth. We can do both. Okay? We've done both. We've been the
It's
leader of the
Vivek.
free world and the universal democracy for years. The Reagan doctrine years ago made it clear. He said, if you
Katie,
want to fight the communists on
whose hair do you
the
think looks better, Mike Pence or mine?
Yours. Absolutely. Yours has some body.
Orlando. It's autumn sunrise. That's from Ghost.
Yours has some body.
Girl. Thanks, Katie.
You're welcome.
Shove it, Christy. Barbara says, shove it, Christy.
You didn't buzz, but I'm gonna mark the F-bomb as a buzz.
For me?
Yeah.
I get a buzz?
No, Chris is on Christy.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
So this is a whole night, Pence and Vivek. The whole night. Why these two?
Who's winning?
Who's winning?
Who's winning? Not the debate between these two.
Oh, I think Vivek is winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you think looks better in this exchange so far tonight? This Pence Ramaswamy thing.
I think as soon as Vivek said, why send money to them and not to Maui, not to East Palestine? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff you got to say.
Who do you think is looking better, Katie?
I think Vivek is making the bigger splash. I think he's making Pence look like an established Republican.
Pence is the same Pence we've seen for how many
Yeah.
years, right?
Whereas the newness that Ramaswamy is bringing to the conversation, I think is boding well for him.
By the way, it's Vivek.
Vivek.
Vivek. Like
I just
cake.
keep saying Vivek.
I got yelled at by Kathy Barnett, his grassroots director, when we had her.
What's
on
it
the air.
like? Cake?
Yeah, Vivek. Like
Vivek.
Vivek.
Vivek. I'm gonna have to
I
remember
kept
that.
calling him Vivek.
I just call him
There's a
Vivek.
poker player named Vivek.
But I've heard it. I mean, I'm gonna start saying Vivek, right?
Vivek.
Vivek. I'm gonna have to remember that. But no one's gotten his name right so far.
That's right. You're right, Katie.
I wonder if that is a boo for Vivek or Brett Baer.
He's not wrong.
He's also doing great because he doesn't care about the boos or the applause. He's just there to swing the bat.
38.
Oh my God.
He's 38. He's
like, whatever.
if he doesn't need to win. He's on this debate stage. In
He
a-
won.
in a
He's
presidential-
here.
Yeah, at 38. So this is a heck of a start.
Linda in the chat box
Yes.
says Mike Pence looks like Race Bannon from Johnny Quest.
Yo, yeah.
Doesn't he?
That's the first time you ever heard that?
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It looks
couldn't-
like
couldn't
Race
agree more.
Bannon. That is so funny.
While you were gone in the bathroom, I told Katie that Sean on the YouTube chat said that Doug Burgum looks like a I want to get it right. He looks like a where did it go? Looks like an old generic Fonzie.
That's funny.
It's good.
We have to know that Ukraine is the first line of defense for us. And the problem that Vivek doesn't
Sorry, Kaylee. Haley. Whatever your name is.
Mhm.
He wants to go and stop funding Israel. You don't do that to friends. What you
I'll give her that. Hold on, I'll give her that. You have to help Israel.
Putin has said once Russia takes Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. That's a world war. We're trying to prevent war. Look at what Putin did today. He killed Prigozhin.
Yep.
When I was at the UN, the Russian ambassador suddenly died. This guy is a murderer, and you are choosing a murderer over a pro-American country.
Mr. Ramaswamy, your 30 seconds. Mr. Sen, you know, this guy will do well in his future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
Mm.
And you know,
Totally came off of it, but you've been pushing this lie. You've been pushing this lie all week,
you want to
Nikki.
go and defund Israel? You want to
Okay, let me address that. I'm glad you brought that up.
I want to hear Vivek's
Me too.
take on Israel.
Nikki Haley is not playing.
Friends help each other stand on their own two feet. So I
Hey, sorry, guys.
2.0. I will partner with Israel to make sure Iran never is nuclear armed. But you know what I love about Israel? And I've been there probably in the last 10 years more than most people on this stage. You know what I love about them? I love their border policies. I love their tough on crime policies. I love that they have a national identity and an iron dome to protect their homeland. And so, yes, I want to learn from them.
Page.
Israel needs America. America needs Israel.
Okay, Governor DeSantis, you were mentioned in the territorial dispute. Not only,
No, it's not a territorial dispute
President of the
either.
United States, your first obligation is to defend our
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
people. And that means you're sending all this money, but you're not doing what we need to do to secure our own border. We have tens of thousands of people
We can
who
do
are
both
being
at the
killed because,
same
well, we're
time.
not handling both. And so I am going to declare it a national emergency. I'm not going to send troops to Ukraine, but I am going to send them to our southern border. When these drug pushers are bringing fentanyl across the border, that's going to be the last thing they do.
It's another thing that bugs me when people say fentanyl. It's fentanyl.
we're actually going to move on to China.
Fentanyl.
We're going to talk about China.
Fentanyl.
Governor Burgum,
Fentanyl.
China has the biggest navy in the
I'm gonna
world,
think about
the
that
biggest
too.
army in
Huh?
the world.
I'm gonna think about that too. I don't know what I say.
You're gonna dream about me tonight for sure.
I have no idea what I say. And people say stuff like that. I'm
The only
like,
reason I could my wife, you know, she's
oh yeah,
the nurse. She knows.
she knows.
She knows.
She knows. Uh-oh.
Here's an argument for less people on the stage. We just asked a new question, and we're starting with Doug Burgum.
Right.
Like, come on. I think Ramaswamy. So I've got two people that I think I have discovered their strategy going in. Chris Christie decided that he was going to be the anti-Trump.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be that lane.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Absolutely.
be the If you want to vote for a Republican that's not Trump, I'm your guy.
Right.
I'm going to take the anti-Trump lane. Vivek, knowing the rules of the debate, that if anybody mentions your name, that you get an automatic response. Attack everybody.
Yeah, he's not mentioning any names. You're
No,
right,
but he's
Tony.
attacking everybody, and then they have to respond. They have to say, "Here's why Vivek is wrong,"
Right.
or "Here's why you're wrong, Vivek," or "Here's where Vivek." And then he automatically gets more. You keep attacking people.
Oh, man,
they
that's
have
smart.
to say your name,
Right.
and you're gonna get more time.
Ah, that's so smart.
Smart.
Smart Vivek.
I truly believe that's what he's doing.
Katie, why are you so far away on the camera thing there?
I don't know. I just moved that
Move
too.
it closer
Okay.
so everybody could see you.
Yay, caramba.
There you go.
What a day not to wear makeup. Hey,
Me too. I didn't put my makeup on either.
I'm still far. I don't think I moved any closer. Hold on.
What the hell?
Tim Jones said that Nikki Haley is releasing her inner globalist.
Yep.
Yeah, Tim actually, he'll probably explain that a little bit more tonight, but he says that a lot of the Tim Jones and Chris Sarp show, his big thing is that she's a big globalist.
Ken Williams said, I think all the men got Trump's memo about the dress code.
Mhm.
Red tie.
That's what I'm saying, that everybody's got to wear the same. So how do you distinguish yourself attire-wise if you're a man and it's blue suit, red tie? You just accept that everyone looks the same?
I think the pocket handkerchief.
I do too.
Does everybody have a pin? Flag pin?
I think so.
Whoever doesn't have a flag pin is out. They're out.
They're out.
Out.
All right. All right.
That was just a nice end.
That's 300 people a day. We're taking mass casualties, and that's a statistic. But these are sons and daughters, nieces and nephews that we're losing. We got North Dakota troops down there flying night helicopter missions from San Diego to the Gulf Coast, trying to stop these transnational criminal organizations. They've got better funding on their side than we've got on our side.
That's true.
Speaking of which, images from earlier this month, Governor Hutchinson with Mexico, Vice President Pence.
Brett Baer
Earlier this month.
is angry with Mike Pence. Here we go. Here we go.
Really doesn't help. I'm asking a question. Earlier this month, images showed
I think he's also a little bit annoyed with Martha. He keeps looking over her like.
Did you hear him yell at Pence a minute ago, though?
Yep.
And
No,
say,
I don't.
This is when, but Mr. Vice President, when you hear this thing, it means your time's up. Stop
Shut
talking.
up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's great.
Law enforcement as needed to protect the border. Absolutely. When you look at the military has to be used for intelligence gathering purposes. This is not unusual. Whenever I was in the Bush administration, we went down there and met with President Vicente Fox of Mexico and asked his help in going after the cartel.
How'd that work out?
And he looked at me and said,
Doug on Facebook says hello to the three of us.
All right.
Hello, Doug.
Oh, Doug Samowski. Hi, Doug.
Leading the Tijuana cartel, and that made a difference. Ramon was shot and killed, and Benamin was captured. Cooperation makes a difference. We cannot be successful going against the cartel unless we bring in Mexico as a partner. We have to use economic pressure to accomplish that. President Obrador is not.
You know why they're not going to get Mexico as a partner? Because the cartel will find a police captain and cut off his head and put his head in a bowling ball bag and leave his head on the steps of the police department.
The military has to be limited in its use. After 9/11, we had the global war on terror, and guess what? We protected the border at the same
3/4 of the way through.
Okay, let's go to Governor DeSantis.
And everybody that I talked to on the air this week that I asked about this debate and who needs to be step up, who needs to, and including Katie, everybody said Ron DeSantis needs to show the voters
Do
Let's
what?
see what he says here.
Oh, yeah.
Are killing tens of thousands of our fellow citizens. You want to talk about a country in decline? You have the cartels controlling a lot of part of your southern border. We have to reestablish the rule of law, and we have to defend our people. The president of the United States
And
has got
I feel like he's played it, just played it too safe. He's up there
So when they're coming across
behaving like he's got a huge lead, and he's just in the prevent defense.
Yeah. And that's why Trump is great, because he's not afraid to say what he wants
Yeah.
to say.
DeSantis is not. I thought we'd see more DeSantis tonight
Yeah.
than anything.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be the one.
Yeah, you're right.
Dominate.
Yep.
He's not. It's
Nope.
getting Pence and
It's Vivek.
Ramaswamy and even Chris Christie. He's been kind of an afterthought, and he's kind of played the middle ground.
He's
He is
been
not doing himself any favors.
very wishy-washy. But do you think
not
that
been the strong candidate that I think everybody thought he was going to be?
do you think that
do you
is
mean?
because his team definitely told him to play it safe, but do you
That's a
think
bad
that he's
idea.
going to catch more fish in that net that he would if
No.
he would make a big splash like
Gotta-
Vivek?
No, he's got to stand out.
I mean, Mike Pence seems like he's had more balls than Ron DeSantis in this fight. And
Yeah. I feel like we've seen more of Pence and Christie and Ramaswamy than DeSantis.
And I have to tell you, with all humility, I was there when we negotiated through the government shutdown and got the funding available to build the wall. I was negotiating on Capitol Hill around the clock. I negotiated the Remain in Mexico policy on behalf of the President of the United States.
Well, that was a good policy, so I'll give him one on that. Remain in Mexico.
Pressure to bring the Mexicans to the table, and they allowed us to have people wait in Mexico while they applied.
Barbara says, so far Trump is winning.
Yeah. That's a very understandable take.
President of the United States of America, I will engage Mexico the exact same way, and we will partner with the Mexican military, and we will hunt down and destroy the cartels that are claiming lives.
I think
If
that's a
January
naive.
6th didn't happen,
Hold on,
Would
before
you-
I forget, because
Yep.
my head, I already forgot. Go ahead.
if January 6th didn't happen, would you be a fan of Mike Pence?
No, just because he's wishy-washy, you know. I mean, the one thing
So
I
you
did
didn't
like about him
when
when-
he was the vice
when
president.
he was vice president, I did like when he was on TV and he backed up Trump in every policy that he had. I did like that.
I don't think he's been wishy-washy tonight. I think
No,
DeSantis has
you
been
asked me when he
wishy-washy.
was vice president.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you feel like he's been wishy-washy.
Since.
Okay.
I also think he made a very naive comment there about the Mexican military. Does he not realize the corruption and how those people are being paid off, and they'll take their payoffs to not have their head cut off and sent home to their family?
Mhm.
What a naive comment. Work with the
Mhm.
Mexican military. I'm sorry, that was naive.
Yeah, Barbara
I agree with
on
that.
Facebook
Vic.
said the same thing. Said Mexico will never help.
Right.
And she's right.
because we haven't dealt with the problem of the folks who are here. We have to have them detained. We have to make sure that they are not rewarded for having broken the law. And one last thing on this fentanyl issue. With China, we can't take our eye off of that ball. Yes, it's important that we secure the border. Very important, as I just said. But China is sending these chemicals to these drug cartels for them to create the fentanyl that is killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens. The Chinese are engaging in an act of war against us, killing our citizens. We better make that priority one in our conversations with China and to try to straighten that relationship out, because if we don't, we're going to lose more and more of our
I just
citizens.
want to clarify, would you send those people back?
Of course. You'd have to.
We have a lot of issues.
We'll talk to Tim Jones and Chris Harps and Mike Ferguson and Gabe Pfeiffer and Ken Williams on this live stream after the debate is over with. And I will definitely ask Tim Jones when he joins us about this comment. He says that Vivek is winning the Veep stakes. So winning the debate for vice president, and Trump is winning the debate. What do you think?
I think that's true. I think, all right, two quick things. Trump is winning the debate because Trump is going to be the nominee. So really all this doesn't mean anything. All right. That's number one. Number two, you guys would not be so mouthy if Trump were there. I'm telling you right now, because he'd be fighting back. Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Great Harvest Bread Company.
Yeah.
Who's sponsoring
Yes.
our little party tonight.
And Maplewood, yes.
And they sent some kind of crazy pumpkin thing that was awesome. I can't wait to bring some home for my wife.
Bread I've been talking about for years. Now you know why.
So I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but all week I'm like, yeah, well, where's our delectable delights? And they
No. So Steve was with us on the air today on Columbo and Katie.
God.
And he off the air, he said that he heard the hints from Vic Forsyth.
Oh God. Was he okay with it?
He loved it.
Is he a fan?
He loved it.
What a boy.
Yeah.
What a
Great
guy.
Harvest
What a
Bread
guy.
Company And Maplewood, thank you so much for your partnership on this debate coverage. And yeah. And he, like he said, when he came in today, he said, this is a Republican debate, but this election, raising awareness, he's getting involved in these types of things because he believes that everybody needs to be informed about these candidates. Everybody needs to be informed about these races and raise awareness, raise participation in the election process. And I think he's exactly right. So we really appreciate their partnership.
Thank you so much.
The stream is officially over. But you want to dip back in? You want to listen to a little bit?
I
more
think we
Trump
should.
here?
Yeah.
Wait, what's over?
Trump
interview is over.
Oh,
Trump
okay.
and Tucker.
Can I say one more thing about Great Harvest Bread Company?
Yes, please.
All we need is love. Need KNEAD.
Oh,
we need is love.
cute.
Is that awesome?
I love that.
Awesome. Sorry.
There was a billboard the other day that I saw for weed.
For
For weed. And I can't remember what it was. And it said weed like your business. And I told my husband that, but David wasn't looking up. Like David was looking at his phone when I said that. He's like, yeah, that's so basic. Why are you excited about something like that? I'm like, look at the
Gotta
freaking
spell it.
billboard.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Great thing there. Okay, good.
I like need. That's cute.
Here, this is close to where we left off last time. So like I said, the Tucker Carlson Trump interview is officially over. It's obviously the whole thing is up on Tucker's page, and we've been listening to that here and there throughout the evening as well. Right now, that's got 79 million views.
Oh my gosh.
On Twitter. So here, let's go back to that for a second here. Trump and Tucker.
And everybody said, that's strange. That's strange.
We keep joining at the weirdest time.
Everybody
Yeah.
said that's strange.
Because when I fired Comey, it was like throwing a rock into a hornet's nest, into a nest of bees, and the place went crazy.
So when you were president, are you confident that you knew everything, say, CIA was doing around?
No, I'm not. It's a very interesting group of people. I had very good relationships, I thought, but I was a little surprised when I got out that, things go on. Look, it's
What were you surprised by?
I was surprised. I think it's some of the people. I was surprised that there was. I had a group of people. We killed many using the.
Does that
CIA.
surprise you to hear him say that he
very bad actors.
what?
Didn't
who were
know
good at it.
everything happening with the
You look
CIA
at
when he was
Soleimani,
president?
You look at al-Baghdadi.
He didn't know what was
Maybe
going
they
on
know
with
Osama
CIA.
bin Laden. I mean, Osama
That's
bin
Tucker just
Laden.
asked him, were you aware of all the
Al-Baghdadi.
activities of the CIA while you were president? And he just said no.
Building ISIS.
Does that
Very strong.
surprise
That
me?
was the CIA that did that.
That surprises me.
That was really us.
It surprises me that
That was really us.
they didn't let him know.
Yeah.
Not his fault.
Yeah, right. No, I think that's interesting. All right, debate's back on. Let's go back to this for.
So if this ends at 10, we have a little bit more than 20 minutes.
If it
23
ends on
minutes.
time. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
debate scheduled to end at 10. We're going to stay here on this live stream after the debate, and we will be joined by Mike Ferguson, Gabe Pfeiffer, Ken Williams, Chris Arps, Tim Jones. Can't wait to hear what all these guys, because I always find it so interesting. This happens when I use Ferguson as a perfect example of this when I was covering Ferguson. that two people can go to the exact same event or watch the exact same thing and have 100% different takeaways
Happens
and
every day.
sound like if you ask one person and another, it sound like they watched two completely different things.
Tony, it happens every day.
Right. So I can't wait to hear how we're interpreting this and
Yeah,
watching it,
yeah.
how
Yeah, other people's, yeah.
Mike and
Yeah.
Ken and Tim and Chris.
At night, I scour YouTube for congressional hearing clips because I love them.
That
And
is sexy.
Josh Hawley is just the best at it, and he just killed this lady. I mean, he just almost made her cry.
Killed someone on the Senate floor?
Well, yeah. So I was like, wow, that was great. He
Anyway,
really
you okay?
kicked her ass. And then the very next video says, watch this lady own
Oh,
Josh
yeah.
Hawley.
Right.
So it's the same
Great
thing
point.
of what you're saying.
Yes. Mhm.
I didn't grow up in money. But the word privilege gets used a lot. Well, I did have the ultimate privilege of two parents in the house with a focus on educational achievement. And I want every kid to
Can't argue with that, Tony. How do you argue with that?
We also have a federal government.
Katie, how do you argue with that?
You can't.
Than to have the man in the house, contributing to an epidemic of fatherlessness. And I think that goes hand in glove with the education crisis as well, because we have to remember.
Well, you guys have a YouTube channel. What's that like? Is that
It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
You had one for a couple weeks.
what'd you say?
You had one for a couple weeks.
Yeah. I screwed that up.
Oh, no, you didn't.
You did not. You did
Oh, here
yourself
we
a
go.
favor.
Here we go.
What's his question?
Transgender. Girl. Biological men playing women's sports.
Oh, great. Well, we know what they're
Katie
all
and I
going to say.
never talk about this topic.
Never ever.
Oh, you always do?
Oh, yeah.
Like every day.
A lot.
He's the current North Dakota governor?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. We hear a lot about the South Dakota governor a lot, don't we?
Yeah. Christy Nome. I was just saying how beautiful.
Those commercials are all
How
right.
smart.
aren't they?
She's
Where
great.
the electrician. And
Yes.
She's,
I think she's great.
Yeah.
And she's so level headed.
Yeah.
She's just level.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Happy Days happen in Milwaukee? Wasn't it set in Milwaukee? I think it was. I think he's Fonzie's grandfather.
Or just Fonzie now.
Yeah, or Fonzie now.
Where's Fonzie now?
Actually, Fonzie now has more gray hair than that. Did you guys watch Barry?
I do. Yeah.
Isn't that good?
On HBO?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that good?
I've only seen the first. Remember, I think I told you only I think I've seen 1, 2, just
love
those
it.
seasons.
It's over
So
now, but
good.
I love it.
Bill Hader.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
and that guy
funny.
with the bald head is so funny.
Yeah. Weird looking dude.
Yeah.
So weird.
You should finish up with A. Let's pay attention. Let's look and pay attention on who's got a flag pin or something on them
Okay.
that looks patriotic. She does not.
And that fabric looks itchy.
Why didn't you wear something red tinged or red toned?
Okay, there's 2.
Scott does, Vivek does.
So
I agree with that.
getting a ding. Okay.
Vocational classes in the high school. Christ, teach
Yes.
the kids how to change
Yes.
a goddamn flat tire.
Yeah.
Yes. Amen.
I think teach a kid how to open up a bank account.
and balance a checkbook.
Yeah,
We don't teach kids anything they
I
need
took
to
a
know.
class. I've
money.
talked about
Yeah,
this
that thing
before.
that's smart.
I took a class my senior year of high school. It was an elective, it was treated like a throwaway, but it was called. The name of the class was Independent Living,
How about
and
that?
that is
That's
exactly what they
amazing.
taught you.
Right.
They taught you how to balance a checkbook.
Right.
They
Fix a
taught
flat tire.
yeah, basic even like just like basic
Financial
ways to
management.
financial
Yeah.
management, and how to calculate interest on loans and things like that, and
Hence
credit
has a
card like
So
how
smart.
how credit card interest rates and
Right,
bills and things
right.
can get out of control, and how to
Right.
know that and be prepared for that.
Conscious of it, yeah.
Like I
I
thought it was
agree.
great,
I
but it was not a requirement.
no, but it's good. Are you glad you learned it?
yeah, but it was treated like a
And it
like
should
one
be
of
a
the
requirement, is what you're
throwaway
saying.
An elective.
Right.
yeah, it wasn't elected.
I gotta pee. Can I go pee?
Yeah,
Do you want to do?
sure.
I trust you. Don't disappoint me.
We will need our headphones when we talk to the
Yeah, I just
It's
guys,
him.
right?
Yeah, we
all of
will.
it. Yeah. Oh, this is a lightning round.
So the question is, do you want a mental acuity test for presidents over 75?
I believe in the people of this country to tell the difference between somebody who's an automaton and somebody who's actually a thinking agent in the White House.
It's a good answer.
We don't have him there today. And I will tell you, I want to address Vice President Pence's comment.
Here we go.
We do need somebody of a different generation to lead this nation forward. Look at the way I've run this campaign. Going to the south side of Chicago, to Kensington, in the middle of Philadelphia, where traditional Republican candidates don't go. We have an opportunity to build a multi-ethnic working class majority to deliver a landslide. And I think I'm the only candidate in this race, young or old, black or white, to bring all of those voters along to deliver a Reagan 1980 revolution. We're going to do it in 2024. I will answer that. I will answer that.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
Who
Who?
guessed that it would be these two?
I can't believe it. And I don't know why it's
Hence
I don't know.
Ramaswamy.
And look at Ron DeSantis in the
You know what?
between
And
them.
we're in the lightning lane and we're in the home stretch. Let's just turn the lights off on Doug Burgum.
See if it floats.
Yeah, like with X Factor, like put the X's on their podium and the lights go off.
Let's see if his fangs
Let's
come
not
out.
have-
Whenever the
Yeah. Let's not waste time on these two anymore. Let's hear from the others.
I can't believe we only have. I mean, we have 15 minutes left.
Yeah, guys, didn't you hear this was a lightning round?
Tim Scott is so great. I just think he needs to do something different with the way he
mentioned that
rests.
over and over again.
He is great. I love Tim Scott.
What, grow a beard? What are you saying?
You know how women have resting bitch face,
Uh-huh.
and people are always like, "Fix your face."
Uh-huh.
He
You
doesn't.
telling Tim Scott to fix his face?
He doesn't have resting bitch face, but his it's like he looks like he's frowning. He looks like he's like frowning whenever he's speaking.
Mm.
Which makes him look
Mm.
nervous.
Can I?
He's very concise too. Like he
Do a
knows what's
ding.
going on.
Give him a ding.
I think it should be voluntary. I'm somebody that volunteered to serve, inspired by September
He-
11th,
I-
and he deployed to Iraq.
I can't imagine him turning around in the last 13 minutes and somehow having a momentum shift.
Yeah.
I think DeSantis has not done what you and everybody else said he needed to do tonight.
He has not been a showstopper.
Mm-mm.
But is that part of the strategy to be anti-Trump?
Ken agreed with me on the ding, so we're okay.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Because I know that,
Tim Scott, ding ding.
yeah. Ken says it was okay. I know I'll be okay with Vic. Oh, we going aliens? Yes.
Aliens.
Yes. Don't boo the alien question, you jerks. Because it is serious.
What is Chris Christie doing shaking his head?
He said it's not. It's like it's a joke to ask. He thinks that this is a joke, like a joke, a waste of time.
They asked about everything
Oh,
else.
this is. I'm gonna hate whatever he says here.
It's horrible. Just because I'm from New Jersey, you asked me about unidentified flying objects and Martians. We're different, but we're not that different. Look, of course, the job of the President of the United States is to level with the American people about everything. The job of the President of the United States is to stand for truth. The job of the President of the United States is to be a role model for our children and our grandchildren. And so whether it was UFOs or this problem of education, and Tim's right, by the way, and I started this in 2010.
My husband is watching with all of his friends on Discord, Tony. He shared our stream on Discord while playing video games.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, David.
What's up, David?
What's up? Oh, so he's the only one that gets the UFO question?
It was a lightning round, Katie. It was a lightning round.
But why did nobody else? I don't know.
It was like every one of those questions was just to one candidate. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that either, but
Yeah. And you know what? I will say this about Tim Scott. He knows how to get in and get out. He knows how to say what he needs to say and wrap it up in a nice bow. And I like that. There's Marky Mark.
let's hear the end of Trump Tucker. Let's hear the last couple minutes of that interview from earlier and see how that ended as we get ready to watch the end of the debate here.
And just a reminder, everybody is joining us live. I know you said that already, but
yeah. Once the debate is over, we are not ending this. In fact, in some regards, just getting started because we will be hearing from Mike Ferguson and Gabe Pfeiffer and Ken Williams and Tim Jones and Chris Arps and getting their thoughts on this debate. This is the end of. They're about to wrap up the debate, so I wanted to hear the last few minutes of Trump Tucker before that. So here we go.
Last month, we had 149 countries represented. Think of it. We had 149 countries represented, Tucker, from places that many people never even heard of, coming into our country. And they're coming in from mental institutions and they're coming in from prisons. They're emptying out their prisons all over South America. They're emptying out their mental institutions. Terrorists are pouring into our country. We have no idea. I had the strongest border in the history of our country. And I built almost 500 miles of wall. You know, they like to say, oh, was it less?
I gave Tim Scott a ding on an education question.
Okay.
And I said, I hope Vic's okay with that.
I'm good with it.
And Ken Williams in the chat box said,
Ding it.
dinged it. Yeah. So
Ding it.
And we're going to build another 200.
God, that
I know
hurt.
I have your,
It's all set to go. All they had to do is install
I trust
it.
you.
It would have
I know I
taken
have your
3 weeks.
blessing.
Sometimes I
That's
trust
when I
you.
found out. I said, I think these people
No, I always
actually
trust
want
you.
open borders.
Ken said it was okay.
The first
Okay.
thing I would do
I trust
would be-
Ken.
I know.
1,000 with my life.
Good and tight, except for
Like
people that
Michael
wanna come.
Corleone trusted Al Neary with his life.
There's tremendous passion and there's tremendous love. You know, January 6th was a very interesting day because they don't report it properly. I believe it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before. And you know some of the crowds I've spoken before. And like July 4th on the mall, I think they had 1 million people there.
oh my God,
I
what?
think that the biggest crowd I've ever spoken before
He's
was
had
on
big crowds.
January 6th. And people that were in that crowd, a very, very
Barbara
small
said cheers, Katie and Vic.
group of people. We
Yay!
said
Thanks, Barbara.
patriotically and peacefully and patriotically, right? Nobody ever says that. Go peacefully and patriotically. But people that were in that crowd that day, very small group of people went down there, and then there are a lot of scenarios that we can talk about. But people in that crowd said it was the most beautiful day they've ever experienced. There was love in that crowd. There was love and unity. I have never seen such spirit and such passion and such love. And I've also never seen simultaneously and from the same people such hatred of what they've done to our country.
So do you think it's possible that there's open conflict? We seem to be moving towards something.
I don't know because I don't know what it, I can say this. There's a level of passion that I've never seen. There's a level of hatred that I've never seen. And that's probably a bad combination.
Donald Trump, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you.
That is a bad combination. By the
Bad
way.
combination.
That's how that ended.
Well,
Huh.
one more for Trump. You know, Tucker Carlson's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
We can all agree with that, right? One day we were having a talk about something, CO2 in the air, climate change crap. And I said, if there's too much CO2 in the air,
Mm-hmm.
why don't we just plant more trees? A significant amount of trees, because trees take in the CO2 and they give out the oxygen, right?
Right.
And less than an hour later, Tucker's being interviewed by somebody. He says the exact same thing,
Oh,
almost
don't you
in the
love it?
exact same words.
Don't you love that?
I do, because
Fox News has our studio bugged.
I agree completely.
I love
Katie
that
and I
though.
talk about that all the time. We'll be on it. We'll be 3 minutes into a story and it'll pop up on the television.
Yep. And I think Bongino too has this bug because I say stuff and
Yes.
then Bongino says it.
That whole damn station. Well, Bongino's separate, but
What's
Hey,
going on here? What the
I
hell is
don't
this?
know.
I'm
Oh,
gonna go
here we
grab
go.
my headphones because we're gonna need them in a minute.
Be right back. Shit, I need mine too.
go ahead and grab them.
They're in that bag.
Oh, okay.
Just 39%. In his pitch to get to the Oval Office, President Reagan called America the shining city on a hill, a beacon of hope and
What's the
optimism.
time? Oh, 5 more minutes. Jeez.
Statement tonight, please tell American voters why you are the person who can inspire this nation to a better day. These are 45 seconds, and we begin with Governor Burkham.
I understand why America's hurting. Biden's inflation is choking us. I grew up in a small town. My dad died when I was freshman in high school. My mom, widow of 3, went back to work. Every job I had growing up was one where I took a shower at the end of the day and not at the beginning of the day. Though our cities are less safe because of the fentanyl pouring into this country. Our economy is being crushed by Biden's energy.
Vic, while you were gone, I said that the last half hour they should have just turned the lights off over Burgum and Hutchinson, like X Factor, just put the X's on the podium.
I love that.
Because we don't have enough time anymore. We need to. Can we give this the last few minutes left here to somebody we want to hear from?
These are the 45 seconds. Everybody gets 45 seconds last chance, last call. For alcohol.
Oh, she's got to plug us in here, over here.
We got to drive ourselves forward. The way we win the Cold War with China is by growing our economy and through innovation. And as
I need a bigger, you got to use the adapter there.
bring out the best of America, I will improve
Oh,
every
okay.
American life.
I'll get an adapter. I think they're going to go to Hutchinson next, so I have time to get my adapter.
I thought I saw one in here.
No,
I don't think so.
because of bad leadership. And the solution is not 4 more years of Joseph Biden. The solution is not 4 more years of Donald Trump. The solution is new leadership that can bring bold ideas to America and to bring out the best. A president's #1 responsibility is to bring out the best of our people. That's what Ronald Reagan did. And he did it with optimism and hope for our country, with consistent conservatism. That's exactly what I bring. As president, I'll bring out the best of America in terms of individual responsibility, building our economy, in terms of securing our border, enforcing the rule of law. I'll bring out the best of America in terms of our national character, our faith, and our hope for the future. Join in this fight. ACE2024.com.
Thank you, Senator Scott.
Thank you. I was a disillusioned young man.
Yeah.
Grew up in a single-parent household, mired in poverty. I wondered if the American dream was real for a kid like me.
So say something into that microphone.
Hi.
Yeah, there you go.
It is well, and it
Thank you so much.
I had the good fortune of a mom who works 16-hour days, making sure we have food on our tables. She taught me that if you're able-bodied in America,
If you watch any of our shows on a regular basis, and
Yeah.
this studio looks different,
Oh yeah.
it's because we're in the Larry Connors studio.
So we have to
don't
say-
leave
What?
a mess.
Okay. But you have to say
Larry's a military
lock
man.
and
Loaded.
ready on the right. Give Hutchinson a buzz.
Well, okay.
You know who else I really love? Joe Pags. And if you're not interested in the debate, and if you're not interested in our coverage, which you should be, but if you're not, listen to Joe Pags right now, 1019-94.1, or stream him, News Talk STL. He's amazing.
Just my little quick trip to the bathroom and back. He said Pence lied because Trump didn't tell him to violate the Constitution. Pags is a Trump guy all the way.
I love Joe Pags.
He just got that little girly voice. I hate that little girly voice.
Oh
that he
yeah,
has.
totally.
God, I hate him. I love him, but I hate him.
I love him, but I hate him.
Got a great voice.
Who stood for the truth, who cared about accountability, and stood strong and hard against waste. Those are the very things that I did in my 8 years as governor of New Jersey, and it's exactly what I'll do as president of the United States. Believe me, the Democrats want some other nominee.
He's not doing anything as president of the United States.
I'm the one who can win this
That
race.
candle is
If you give me a
amazing.
chance, I will restore
Mm-hmm.
Several weeks ago.
You weren't even listening.
I was listening.
Can you turn my headphones up when you get a sec?
Yeah.
Yep.
What number are you?
Mm.
Hey, how you doing?
Mhm.
Those are mine you turned up. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah. Keep
blowing
going.
my own ears out. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's fine now. Thank you.
How do you hook a phone up to that? How do you hook a phone up to that?
Bluetooth.
Or you can actually hook your phone up.
Seriously? Bluetooth?
Amazing. Technology, hey. Okay. Technologic.
You like Daft Punk?
I do, but it's yeah. It's I really like them. I like all of their popular things. What was that one that they did with Kanye West?
Yeah.
God, it was so good. It's really
And
good.
Technologic's good too. Did you ever see the video with the
Oh
baby
yeah.
heads? Fix it, pack it, fix it, pack it. Technologic. I love it. I love it. My son turned me on to it a long time ago.
Joe Biden has weakened America at home and abroad. Disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the war on energy, runaway spending that launched the worst inflation in 40 years, a crisis at our southern border, an assault on our values and liberties. And the American people have had enough. But I know we can bring it back. But different times call for different leadership.
Several weeks ago.
Ferguson is joining us. I'm going to see if I'm going to do a test with him really quickly and see if I can hear him or if he can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Are
Like,
you?
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, hold on.
Duffel bags of belongings to go to a country they'd never been, all in the name of protecting America. If they are willing to protect us from there, we should be willing to fight for America here.
Mike Pence.
Can you,
doesn't
Mike, can you do
care
a couple
one bit about
talks
that buzzer.
for me?
Are you hearing me?
They buzzed him twice.
It says
Okay.
It says I'm muted.
Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha.
All right. I thought it was pretty funny at the very beginning of this. They played that song, from that guy in West Virginia.
Mike,
And
it'll
he-
be about,
Oh, Pence.
we're gonna take you here in just a moment.
Okay.
Whenever these are all wrapped up, I still have you on the screen and everything, but I don't have you audio.
Okay. And this will not be over the air. This is only live streaming, right?
Joe Biden has weakened America at home and abroad. The disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, their war on energy, runaway spending that launched the worst inflation in 40 years, a crisis at our southern border, an assault on our values and liberties. And the American people have had enough.
This is a Fox News alert. He's not on stage, but he's front and center. I'm Lisa Lacera.
Yeah, oh yeah,
A heated
absolutely.
exchange.
I think there's a lot of other people that are my age that are more on the capitalist bandwagon than the socialist
Christ, I hope
bandwagon.
so.
It
You're the
wasn't that
people we
way.
need.
It wasn't that way.
Yeah.
But now I think they've had a taste of Biden. They're like, "Yee, no money in that bank account, bruh."
Let's see what Meatball Ron says.
What's Meatball say?
We will send Joe Biden back to his basement and we will get to the country. I'm a blue collar kid. I work minimum wage jobs to be able to make ends meet. I understand the importance of the American dream, and I know how that slipped away. So many millions of Americans will restore it. I'm a veteran who served in Iraq. I know what it means to put service above self. I'm also a dad and a husband, 6'5" and 3-year-old. I understand the importance of protecting.
Barbara said, Jill, you dress like Haley, you dress like Jill, old couch covers. Looks like Jill Biden.
2024 is make or break. We're not getting a mulligan. No excuses. I will get the job done, and as your president, I will.
Barbara, how you doing?
God bless you all.
I want to say thank you. Thank you to all that's on the stage.
Thank you, everybody. We will see you.
Okay,
Thank you to
Well, there you go.
Bye.
Can you turn that?
I will. And Mike Ferguson is here with us.
Excellent. Let's Vic, let's start with you. Winner? Was there one?
Can I pick a tie?
You can.
I think Vivek and DeSantis probably are pretty neck and neck. And that's all I have to say about that.
Anybody?
Asa Hutchinson, bottom of the pile, the
Yeah.
shit pile. Asa Hutchinson.
Katie, your thoughts? Winner?
Anybody? I'm sorry. Hold
Loser?
on, Katie. Anybody that says, "Well, we don't need 4 more years of Donald Trump." Sorry, shit.
I think the winners were actually, no one's going to like this, Mike Pence and Vivek Ramaswamy. I think they had the most airtime, they had the most TV time, and they are the only two besides Chris Christie.
Yeah.
So I think that they were the two winners. I know no one's going to like that I said
What about
that.
you?
I think that I think Vivek. Well, in my opinion, he was a tryhard. Like he
Try hard. I like that.
You know, like I like some of the things he says. I'm not as big of a fan of his. I think as a lot of other people are.
I really like
I think
him.
he did fine. But I didn't think that he did great. As Katie knows, I am a big fan of Tim Scott. I don't think that he knocked it out of the park or anything tonight.
He did
But
not.
I did like a lot of the things that he had to say. I think that Ron DeSantis was
Mediocre at best.
yeah. I mean, he needed to step up, and he didn't do anything. He did, for example, so Vic doing the dings and the buzzes, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's something to say that DeSantis had you dinged him once. That's a good one. And buzzed him 0 times.
Oh,
He only one time did he even get a reaction from you.
yeah.
Just to show you
So
how much
didn't
he
stand
was
down.
not
You're
involved.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I think the big winner was Donald Trump.
No.
Mike Ferguson from the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show has joined the live stream. You can see him on the screen there. Mike's got to get up in just a couple hours. We'll make sure that we'll put a little of the Great Harvest Bread Company in the studio for you guys to help you out in the morning. But let's same question to start with you, Mike. Was there a winner, a clear winner, clear loser in your mind?
Yeah, I think the clear winner was going to be the manufacturers of headache medicine for a lot of the.
Excedrin, the winner.
That's right. Yeah, no, I mean, there were several minutes of really thoughtful exchanges, but for every minute of that, there was a minute of canned, memorized talking points and 2 minutes of yelling over the top of each other. But as far as a clear winner goes, I didn't really come into it looking for that. I was looking at what did each candidate need to do to get their arrows going up and to avoid their arrows going down. And when you look at each of the candidates, I thought Ron DeSantis kind of treaded water, to be real honest.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a bad day, but I don't think he broke away from the pack by any means. I thought Tim Scott did very well. I thought he met his goal of getting people to say, okay, I keep hearing this name. Who is this guy? Oh, I kind of like this guy. And I think he probably accomplished that. Vivek Ramaswamy can get cheers with a lot of cheerleading. But if you look at a real serious policy aspect of what they talked about, I thought Nikki Haley showed that he really is out of his league when it comes to actual policy matters. I think Nikki Haley really made a name for herself in the race tonight. I think there's a lot of concerns that Republican voters need to address with Nikki Haley, but especially right off the front when she says, okay, yeah, Democrats spend like crazy, but hey, Republicans, you've been responsible for a lot of this bullshit too. And so, she called out her own party, which actually got some serious applause as well. So I thought she had a very strong performance as well. And Mike Pence, he's Mike Pence. He's exactly what we expected him to be. I thought he gave some strong answers. I thought he gave some answers that didn't go over really well. Chris Christie did better than I thought that he would do, but my guess is he didn't win a single person over because of his past, just being Chris Christie, and then there was some other guy on the stage.
Yeah. I agree with the point about Nikki Haley. I think that if you asked me who overperformed, I think it was Nikki Haley. I don't think it was to the level that makes her a serious contender or anything like that, but I do think that she maybe upped her value
Profile.
She
definitely upped her
a little
profile.
bit. Again, I don't think to the level of being, I don't think she's moved over into, second place or anything like that. But I do
but
think
Tony, I think what you do now is you look at her as somebody who pointed out and put the spotlight on herself and said, I've got experience and a lot of credibility here.
Yeah. And she started, Katie and I had talked about this
Yeah.
On our show this afternoon. She started before the debate. She was taking shots at Tim Scott and Vivek, maybe. By name, she called out two other candidates on the stage tonight before the debate to sort of, make her presence felt. What do you think about that, Vic, about Nikki? And then I know you have other thoughts as well.
My question is about Nikki Haley. Mike, what do you think about Nikki Haley's comments about the Ukraine war?
Oh, as far as holding Vladimir Putin back?
Well, just that, we need to spend more money. And, she seemed to be like a great money spender to Ukraine.
Yeah.
While, East Palestine, Ohio, he hasn't gotten much money. That just seems like, you know how we feel about that. So what do you think about her thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think that when you go into a Republican campaign and say, just keep spending money and keep writing checks, it's not going to go over well. Ron DeSantis and Mike Pence and Nikki Haley, I thought, made a credible case for, listen, there is a reason that we want to pay for a proxy war to keep our soldiers out of the war. And that's something that this kind of gets drowned out in the screaming match. So I thought that aspect of why do we want to make sure that we don't have to go into Ukraine is very strong. But the idea that, you're going to say, just keep writing checks and leave it at that, you're not going to win over any Republican voters with that. But I'm one of those who says, we do have treaty obligations if and when Vladimir Putin crosses over into a NATO country, which he has indicated he's willing to do. So what's happening right now is some of these Republicans, it looked like the majority of the candidates up there said, yeah, it's easy to get a applause line by saying, no more money for Ukraine, but that's a serious foreign policy and a serious military policy mistake. And I thought, DeSantis and Haley and Scott made a pretty good case for their positions. It's not going to go over very well, obviously, with diehard, for instance, Donald Trump supporters. They've made up their mind on Ukraine, and a lot of Republican voters have. And so it's a tough sell. I guess I kind of respect the fact that they were willing to try to sell it and get some booze in the process.
Since we're doing this on the fly, and it's the first time we've ever done it, Katie, when I know that you're going to be the one over there,
Gabe is joined
running the show. Yeah, I was going to say, if you need to take a break between the various call-ins, it's okay to just have it with us for a minute while you're getting that. So whatever you need to do. Mike, we know that you got to be up bright and early. Show starts at 5:30 in the morning. So we will cut you loose here. Just want to get your final takeaway. What was any standout thoughts that you have and will be focused on tomorrow?
I think, well, first of all, I got Stephen Moore, Donald Trump's economic advisor, going to be on the program tomorrow in the 7 o'clock hour. Gene Evans, former Republican Party executive director in the state of Missouri. And also, everybody can see that Rosie, the cat that I mentioned, suddenly
Yes.
decided to make an
So
appearance right
sweet.
here. All right, go away now. No, I think, honestly, the two words that come to my mind here are that I think this was a missed opportunity by a lot of candidates.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there was for those who wanted to say we're going to have a debate and show what it's going to be like without Donald Trump, a lot of them really used his tactics and just screamed over the top of each other. So I don't think that people and probably the calmest conversation that was going to be had tonight about all these things was over on Tucker Carlson's Twitter account, where nobody was yelling over the top of each other and they were just giving a proverbial middle finger to Fox News. But yeah, I think that the candidates, acting the way that they did probably is one of the reasons that a lot of us in public policy and media and all of us who think we're smarter than everybody else, which is almost everybody in media, we forget that this kind of thing turns off voters. It turns off independents. It turns off the people who pay cursory attention to it, because I'm going through and listening to the deep dive policy disagreements and saying, who do I think's right and who do I think's wrong? Boy, that was an interesting constitutional perspective. But the people who decide elections hear that and go, wow, that sounds like a bunch of kids just yelling at each other, or it sounds like my family reunion when everybody gets drunk. And I think the Republicans missed an opportunity tonight to make the case to be the people who are going to lead us into the next era of whatever America is going to be.
Mike Ferguson, every morning starting at 5:30 a.m. on News Talk STL. Mike, appreciate you staying up late with us tonight, and we'll be listening in the morning. Thanks, buddy.
Time for me to go take a nap.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, the alarm will be going off any minute here. You always go to the morning guy first when you're doing late night coverage, and that is why we are now being joined by Gabe Pfeiffer, co-host of the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show. Gabe, before I get to you, I want to ask Vic about Mike's summary of the debate that the party as a whole tonight missed an opportunity to present themselves as a viable candidate against Donald Trump or stand out on their own. Do you agree with Mike's assumption?
Well, I think that, first of all, the whole process of primary debates, all the people on the same party tell each other how much they suck. And then you get to a final nominee and then, oh yeah, you guys are all great. You know what I mean? So it's kind of almost not a waste of time because you have to have them. So did anybody, are you asking me, is there a front runner? I mean, what are you asking me?
Well, Mike made the point that nobody really made their case.
I agree with that. Nobody made their case. I mean, some people had some strong comments. There are some dings. Count the dings. They're not just buzzers on the scoreboard there. So when you hear people say certain things, like when Tim Scott said, people go to school and they should learn other things, like that class you took when you were in high school, where you learned how to change a flat tire and balance a checkbook. I thought that was great. I thought Vivek Ramaswamy had some great comments about capitalism. I mean, all of a sudden capitalism needs to be brought out, needs to be accentuated because of all the Marxist communist stuff we hear. So I don't know. There were moments of, I don't even want to say brilliance. There were moments of semi-brilliance, but no, nobody stood out because Trump won.
Gabe Pfeiffer, initial thoughts. Winner? Was there a winner tonight? Was there a loser tonight? Did anything big stand out to you?
I didn't see anything really big happening in this whole proceeding. One thing that struck me, just kind of personally as a voter, not watching it as necessarily a commentator, but as a voter, was that I was surprised at how often I agreed with people that I know I'm not going to vote for. You know what I mean?
I agree with that statement, Gabe.
It's funny, and maybe it is because I'm a commentator, so I listen a lot to leftist craziness all day, every day. That when you hear the these minimal disagreements that we have between all the characters on the stage on my side. I'm like, he's like, I don't really like that guy, but he made a really good point there. It's like, hey, this is a Doug Burgum guy. Never heard of him, but he made a really good constitutional point there. And it just kind of struck me as funny. That is like, oh yeah, I probably agree more with everybody on the stage, even the ones I find to be kind of rhino-ish.
Leave it to the brainiac to be the one that was listening, even when Doug Burgum was talking.
Even when the rest of us tuned out.
Like,
Everybody was
"Aw."
like, oh, I don't know.
Gabe, a lot of people have jokingly, but I think also with a it's funny because it's true kind of aspect. Keep talking about this debate and others as the debate to be vice president, the VP stakes, as Tim Jones said earlier. Do you believe there's some truth to that? And do you see anybody on that stage that maybe would be the right fit and maybe made their case to be a number 2 to Donald Trump?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna assume this is this Donald Trump's race, which currently the numbers suggest that it is, then I don't think anybody on the stage except for Vivek Ramaswamy qualifies to begin with. Just I mean, if you list the names, who hasn't Donald Trump gone after or called out as somebody he doesn't really regard that well on that stage? And I think the one person who hasn't gotten on the wrong side of Donald Trump right now is Vivek Ramaswamy. But even then, I don't think that puts him particularly high on the list of potential VPs.
Go ahead, Vic.
So let me ask you this, Gabe.
Yes.
Out of those 8 people that were on the stage, can you see any of them being president of the United States?
Well, there are kind of 2 ways to answer this. One is in comparison to the current guy in office, anybody or their half-eaten lunch would make a better president than the current guy in the office. But if I were to, I mean, I could vote for, I don't know, good 4 or 5 of them, maybe.
I think that Vivek Ramaswamy, and this is the most exposure that I've had to him in one concentrated evening, and I think that's probably the case for almost everybody.
He's on the Gutfeld show all the time, so I've seen him a billion times.
There's a reason why that I haven't seen him then. But I do believe now, especially now, that I think that he is the best fit. I could see that fit with Donald Trump. I am not saying that is, to me, the best ticket. Like it wouldn't be the ticket that I would necessarily pick, but I see a lot of Trump energy there and a lot of that. And not only not identical energy, but energy that would be compatible and bounce off of Donald Trump in a very good way. I could see that combination being something that would be attractive to Donald Trump.
I don't think either of you actually answered my question. My question is, out of those people on the stage, can you see any of them actually being the president of the United States?
In my mind,
Yes.
like 2 ways of answering the question, like Gabe said, from a media person gauging the realistic possibility of one of them winning, less and less. Like seriously, less and less every day that passes.
Right.
In like a perfect world, like I could definitely see a Tim Scott being a great president. So in that regard, yes, I could see Tim Scott or maybe a couple others being president. But realistically, from a person who has covered elections for a long time and polling and all of this and the lead that Donald Trump has at this point, less and less.
But Gabe,
oh, sorry.
Gabe, I mean, this is still young though.
Oh,
this is still young, right, Gabe? This is still
it's a
new.
first date. I described it as a first date. this
Yeah.
morning. Is it's a lot of Republican voters. They've heard of this person, they've heard of that person, they might have seen them around, they might have kind of crossed paths with them, but this is their first time where you kind of sit down, you get to know them a little bit better, and say, hey, I'm going to now consider you more seriously as a potential interest of mine. And I think in that regard, yes, this is only the beginning.
Well,
Go ahead.
I just, just as a person, not as the media guy, not as the radio guy. I don't think it's any secret. I'm a Trump supporter. I can always see Trump as the president. I don't see any of these 8 people having people like Kim Jong-un having a healthy fear of, or Vladimir Putin behaving like he did for the 4 years under Trump. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
I don't
do
think
get what
any
you're
of these
saying.
show the strength of a Donald Trump.
And go ahead, Katie.
I was just, but none of us knew, except for maybe you, but none of us knew that about Trump until he was president. Whenever he was on the debate stage,
he did promise those things.
He did, and he proved us all wrong and proved himself right. But when he was debating, all of us were sitting around being like, "The hell is this dude is from the freaking Apprentice."
That's a great point. That's a great point. He did say it, but a lot of people say things on a debate stage or before, while they're running for president.
So that's all the more now that we've had him for 4 years.
It's a good point.
Those 4 years, didn't you feel safe? Didn't you feel like, oh, it's good, no war?
A lot safer than I do now.
Wake up and feel no war this morning.
I will say, and I'm going to, this is going to be my new broken record. Katie's going to get sick of me talking about. Maybe we just had a different opinion of who Ron DeSantis was before this started. He is not the person at all that he looked like he was, or like the media was propping him up to be, that he was going to be this fighter that, had the independence of Donald Trump and the strong opinions and all blah, blah, blah. Like, he has been a wet fart. Like it is. Tonight was another example of that. He's not the guy that I think a lot of people thought he was.
But Gabe, don't you think a lot of the credit that he got going into all of this, even before tonight, debate night, the way he has governed in Florida, and you got to give him credit, he's done a pretty good job.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, a lot of the viral moments that I think created a certain sort of persona for him in the media, at least the media we were watching, was from his confrontations with the legacy media types. He's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop you right there. This is garbage. And he actually did do that though during this debate. Remember on the hand raising question, he said, "No, I'm not going to answer that question. It's a stupid question." I mean, he pulled a what was it? My cousin Vinny said, it's a BS question. I'm not going to answer this.
You could say it on the.
Yeah.
No,
Gabe does not cuss.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But
it's a bullshit question.
Yeah, exactly. And he just kind of he basically took control of the debate from that at that moment. Now he lost it afterwards. Afterwards, everybody else, it was a big mix. It was kind of a scrum, really, with 8.
You're back.
It was kind of a scrum with all 8 of those candidates. So whatever control he took at that moment, just kind of it was kind of a high point for him, and then it just kind of faded away as all the other candidates got in their barbs and everything. So I mean, I think Mike was right in that he treaded water in the grand scheme of things, but I think we're seeing his personality right now, and I think people had built him up into a certain type of personality because of those moments, and now you're seeing his actual personality. It's not as exciting, it's not as sexy as it seemed to be. So we're I think that's kind of where his campaign is going. It's basically people expressing their disappointment that he wasn't quite living up to the hype of the media coverage about it.
Gabe Pfeiffer, thank you so much. You can hear Gabe right alongside Mike and Estelle in the morning every day, starting at 5:30 here on News Talk STL, and of course on Gabe's YouTube channel, St. John the Philosopher on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed and checking out Gabe there as well. We'll be listening in the morning. Gabe, really appreciate your time tonight.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Good night, Gabe.
All right. Chris?
Yes.
Is he
Chris
on?
is here.
All right. So this is what I was talking about earlier, Vic, how everybody, just every person watches an event like this differently and has different takeaways. And especially with, the various backgrounds and, personalities on the radio station, we watch that. A lot of people watch it as, voters and somebody who maybe doesn't live in the news cycle like we do. And Chris, I know also, watches this as a person who works behind the scenes on campaigns.
Insiders.
Yeah, like the inside of like why guys do, the strategy on the stage and, how everything is very intentional, like I said earlier about Vivek, it was clear to me that he went out there like, I'm going to be the one who just like demands that they pay attention to me. And Chris Christie went out with the clear strategy of I'm going to be the anti-Trump. And I know, Chris, that you look for a lot of those things in candidates. Like you could tell us a little bit more about like the strategy behind the approach of these various candidates. So Chris Arps joins us now, and same question that I'm going to ask everybody to start with: winners and losers tonight. Were there any?
I don't think there were any winners and losers. I think this was the first debate, of course. Everybody was trying to get their sea legs, see where everything was at. There were a lot of high expectations for Ron DeSantis. He didn't hit a home run. He didn't hit a double or a triple, but he didn't say anything that will have him in the headlines tomorrow as anything negative. I tell you what, I can give you
enough, Chris. Is that good enough for the person that's supposed to be the only realistic challenge to Donald Trump, because that is what he has been classified since day one of this presidential campaign season? Is it good enough to go out there and not hit a home run, but not strike out? I called it prevent defense earlier. Is that can Ron DeSantis do that right now?
Yeah,
or is that
at this stage, when he's had probably 2 months of negative press about his campaign and about his numbers falling and potential donors leaving him, to come out and have a debate performance where he didn't hit a home run, but he didn't make any major mistakes, and he will be not be the topic tomorrow of how bad he did as a debate. I think he held his own. Look, there's going to be another debate in another couple of weeks. That'll give him some more time to hone his skills in Iowa. Look, Donald Trump has a huge lead on him nationally and in Iowa, but the DeSantis campaign is looking at Iowa to try to close the ranks because Donald Trump's lead is not as high in Iowa. And polls have shown that there is a significant amount of voters, I think it was 25%, that said they were open to looking at someone else besides Donald Trump.
Anytime there's a debate, like this, I was going to say like this, but anytime there's a debate, period, there's always the one-on-one fights that break out. And we said earlier, I would have named probably every combination of people on stage before I would have said that the featured heavyweight bout of the night would be continuously between
Mike freaking Pence.
Mike Pence. What did you think about the two of them?
I think you can expand. I think you can expand that, Tony. I think there was friction between Mike Pence and Ramaswamy. There was tension between Nikki Haley and Ramaswamy. Remember, she said, you have been on stage and you have attacked and talked down to everyone here. If you remember, just Chris Christie also had a line against Ramaswamy, calling him the Chat GPT candidate.
It was a good line.
I think say that, Chris, because I wrote that down. I wrote Ramaswamy versus Pence, Ramaswamy versus Christie, and Ramaswamy versus Haley. You're exactly right. Obviously the biggest one was with Pence. Yeah. Was that? Do you agree with me that was very intentional? He knows that if another candidate says his name, he gets an automatic extra 30 seconds. I think he went out there on purpose to pick fights, to make people respond, say his name, talk about him, so he could keep getting the spotlight back on himself. And I'm not saying that's a negative thing.
I think
do you,
I think that was exactly the strategy. Nikki Haley called it out at the beginning. She said, "You have talked down to everyone here on the stage, calling them bought and paid for." And so I think he was trying to insult the candidates. So as you said, Tony, they would invoke his name and he would get more time. You know, Ramaswamy, what he reminds me of, and we may have some Eric Greitens supporters that are watching and listening to the show, but that guy reminds me of Eric Greitens. He looks like an infomercial salesman. He's very polished. He's very just packaged. And just something about him tonight just really, really turned me off. He was obnoxious in so many ways.
Maybe?
And I tell you what, let me say this, and I tell you this. Ramaswamy is following the same strategy that Ted Cruz used in 2016. If you guys remember that race, Ted Cruz was plodding along, was in second place. Everyone else was criticizing Donald Trump, not attacking Donald Trump. He was the one that was not attacking Donald, kind of staying out of the fray. There was rumors that was somehow Donald Trump and Ted Cruz working together because Donald Trump was criticizing everybody but Cruz. But then we saw at the end when it got serious, Trump turned on Cruz and was saying that his father was part of killing the mafia or killing Kennedy. He mentioned his Heidi, his wife, was not so much good looking. So I would warn Ramaswamy. I see what he's doing, but we saw that in 2016. It didn't work so well for Ted Cruz.
Did anybody tonight fail, in your opinion, Chris? Was there anybody that like really sunk themselves tonight?
I think if you want to look at people that sunk themselves, were people that probably shouldn't have been on the stage at the beginning. Asa Hutchinson really didn't do himself much good. Doug Burgum, he has an interesting story, growing up in a town of 300 people, creating a software company that made him a billionaire. Great story. But as we all know, he doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. And if he didn't have the program of giving out a gift card for $20 for every dollar that you sent in, he probably would not have made the stage.
I do have one thing, Chris, before we let you go.
Sure.
You are someone, as you just said, have worked on many campaigns, Jim Talent and Ted Cruz being two. How much of a difference does it make whenever you see a candidate up there and they're too polished? Because that is something that is a big turnoff for me now that we've experienced Trump. I don't want someone up there that isn't so loose that they can't be malleable whenever they're asked a question.
Too scripted.
Yes, yes. And that's what I felt with Ron DeSantis.
And with Ramaswamy, I think he was saying all of the right applause lines. He said he was pardoned Donald Trump. He seemed to be much supportive of Donald Trump. So I think he had the crowd with him because of that. But again, I think he has to be careful with that. It may turn, Donald Trump may turn on him when he sees he is becomes a threat to him.
Or make him his vice president.
Or make him his vice president, or get a show on Fox or Newsmax. Who knows?
Let me ask you a question, Chris.
I was going to say, Vic, where are you, man? Come on.
I'm letting the experts talk. I'm just sitting back and I'm just watching. But this is a tough.
The lights are off over by the coffee machine, and Vic's afraid of the ghost over there. So
was that in the dark? What kind of shit is that? So this is a tough hypothetical question.
Sure.
Maybe nobody can answer. How do you think this debate would have been different if Donald Trump was there?
Wow. I think that if Donald Trump was there, I think everyone, but probably Ramaswamy, would have been going after the indictment situation. Now, some of them, like Christie and Asa Hutchinson, would have been more direct. I think people like DeSantis and others would have been more veiled, would have been attacking him. But I think we wouldn't have gotten too much of issues. I think it would have been all surrounding Donald Trump's issues. And Donald Trump is a master at these type of situations of not exactly following the rules of the bell and doing what he wants to do. So I think he would have probably have taken over this debate, and the two moderators would have lost control numerous times, probably.
The Tucker interview with Trump is closing in on 88 million views.
Wow, we
Wow.
beat him by just a little bit.
Just a hair.
We just crossed 90, so we're still a little bit ahead.
Fantastic.
And that's what
Chris
we were talking
Oates!
about on the show today. Is it'll be interesting to see the numbers between who watched the debate on cable and who watched the pre-recorded interview with the president. We had a caller today. Then I'll let you guys go. That said that he was going to watch Carlson, and then he was going to tape the debate because he didn't want Fox to get the ratings credit.
Yeah, you cut out there for a second, but the caller said that he was going to watch the Tucker stream, even though it wasn't live, it was pre-recorded, and tape the debate and watch it later, so he didn't give Fox the credit.
That's
I
good.
think that's
good.
Chris, you and I have been covering these types of elections for a long time together, and I really appreciate your thoughts as always. And of course, we'll be listening tomorrow afternoon. Have a great night, my friend. Thanks so much. Great stuff there from Chris Arps. And who are we? We're switching
Ken
to
Williams.
You know
All
what?
right.
You start. It's your
Kenny
this
Williams,
this
what is
your guy.
happening, baby?
What up, guys?
Hello, Ken.
Hi.
I'm sorry.
You just said
I
Ken
know.
has more
I know.
friends than just Vic.
I'm so sorry. I know I said you start, and then I just got to say this. So during the debate, Ken was very active in the chat box for reading some of his comments and things like that.
I was going to say that, but
So,
that's okay. You
a
can
thunder
thundersteal like
stealer.
he
Thunder
does.
Stealer.
So I on Facebook, I played softball for years, right? And I created years ago a Facebook page for our softball team that I haven't touched in years.
Yeah.
Ken asked a question about the debate. He said, "Hey, anybody in this chat box? I missed that question. Can you tell me what they said?" And I answered. And for some reason in the chat box, it pops up image label softball.
How about
Answering
that?
the question.
How'd that happen?
I saw that.
That was me, Ken. I was
It's a ghost
logged
in
into
the
my
system.
old softball
That's
team's
great.
page for
Oh,
some.
that's funny.
Great. That's amazing.
I was like, this
love
is
that.
yeah. I just was like, that is hilarious. They're like, it's my incognito mode. That's
Well,
Tony
you guys
Colombo
did great
in
tonight.
disguise.
I thought you guys did really well tonight. It was fun to follow you guys, and then on my other screen, I was watching the debate. Then I was listening to Trump. I mean, it was really cool. It was,
There was a great conversation throughout the night, and we were trying to read a lot of those comments on the air as well. There's a great conversation going on the various channels in the Rumble chat box and the Facebook and YouTube chat boxes. So, we'd like to hear from people if this style of coverage is something that you like, because this is brand new for us. So
Yeah, but I love it.
Let us know if
it was fun.
this is something that you'd like to see us do more of. Now, I am so sorry.
All right.
You take it over.
Kenny.
Yeah,
So,
Vic.
all right. So here's the deal. I was watching your comments, and I think it's tough for you and I, especially, to watch a debate like this when we know they all suck, right? And it's just a race for number 2, and Trump's our man. Explain that feeling of watching this and not really giving a shit at all.
Yeah, I think, I was kind of underwhelmed, and not because I'm a Trump fan, but because I was kind of hoping that I would see a DeSantis fly through and say, no, you've gotten it all wrong so far, or somebody like Vivek, or even Nikki Haley. I thought, well, is she going to just jump out there? And she actually had a couple of good comments, but they were a little canned for me. I made a couple notes, like first of all, Mike Pence talking about how credible the Department of Justice is in indicting Trump 4 times and being a part of all that thing. When you're when you're a criminal organization, any of your indictments, anytime you're supporting a DA that's going to indict Trump, to me is illegitimate. So if that out of the gate, these indictments are illegitimate. But then Mike Pence said, "Oh, well, he's been indicted 4 times, so we're just going to have to support that. We have to understand it's the Constitution that we're fighting for."
We said that was going to happen.
Yeah, and to your point, Ken, when that question was asked about pardoning Trump and about the indictments, and Chris Christie who clearly went on the stage to be the anti-Trump guy. That was
Oh, yeah.
obviously his strategy. But for him to go up there and say, I wouldn't pardon him because somebody has to be strong enough to stand up and say that the Trump's conduct is not acceptable. There's a huge difference between conduct and crime. You cannot like the way that Donald Trump acts or talks about people or carries himself. That does not make him a criminal. That is not an apples to apples comparison. These
No.
charges, I am not the biggest Donald Trump supporter. I think he's 1,000 times better president than Joe Biden. But it's very easy for me to say that these charges against Donald Trump are illegitimate charges and highlights bigger than anything the two-tier justice system that we have in this country. So that to me was the worst answered question of the whole night when Chris Christie tried to say that the various indictments against Donald Trump should stand because somebody has to stop the way he carries himself. I mean, ridiculous.
Well, that's it, Tony. I mean, Chris Christie, he was basically judging Trump in the way that the Department of Justice and the district attorneys in New York and in Georgia and wherever else they're gonna follow along because they want to keep this thing going up until November of 2024. If that's true, if what I just said is true, then all of this is illegitimate. If all of this is illegitimate, then Trump is not guilty. If Trump's not guilty, then Chris Christie is absolutely wrong. Mike Pence is wrong. And we need to look at the situation a different way.
Yep.
Was there a winner tonight, Chris? Or Ken, sorry.
I wouldn't say there were winners. I was
Whatever your name is.
Vivek Ramaswamy. Can you guys, first of all, can you guys hear this? First, listen to this. Listen. Can you hear that?
Oh,
No.
Yeah. I could a little bit. You can
It
turn
was,
up a little bit.
it was, if I can, yeah. Vivek Ramaswamy. He was actually talking about. I recorded the closing statements. Okay.
Yeah, he said God is real. There are two genders. And then what did he say about fossil fuel? Those are all
the
really
use of
good
fossil
lines.
fuels. He was doing he was saying he was throwing all the red meat out there. I think some of them, or at least he did it. They all needed to throw out some more red meat. They were being very passive. It seemed like, people want to hear something right now. People want to hear someone who's going to get something done with what's going on with this government right now. And tonight, outside of Vivek, I didn't hear that a lot from people, and I really wanted to hear some of that.
I think it's a good point.
I think too with Chris Christie, he had to attack Trump, and he walked away from that debate saying, "Oh my God, thank God nobody brought up my scandal, which is the Bridgegate scandal at the George Washington Bridge, right?
Or the beach scene."
And the beach thing. Thanks for stealing my thunder. Ken Thunder Stealer. And not letting people go to the Jersey Shore and he sat his own fat ass on the thing. But you know what I'm saying, Ken? He's lucky they didn't bring up that stuff because he's got skeletons in his own fat closet.
And this is my own opinion, but I believe Chris Christie, he's just a grifter. And all he's trying to do is get a commentary position on another MSNBC show or something. I really don't think he's a serious candidate. I think he hates Trump's guts because Trump didn't give him what he wanted to him to give him back when he was president. So I agree with you though. I think he was very happy that no one brought anything up about him at all.
It's my man. It's my man, Ken Williams.
Ken, you make my heart so happy because producer to producer, you just cut up some audio and tried to play it on
he
here.
had
And
sound.
that makes me,
had
makes me
sound.
so happy.
That is
Because that's how we roll, Ken.
Yeah.
That's
how
exactly
we
right,
roll,
Katie.
man.
I wish you could have
Absolutely.
heard it better though.
I knew what you meant. I knew the sentiment.
We'll hear it tomorrow.
Well, yeah,
Ken,
we will.
Yeah. Any final takeaways from tonight?
Yeah, I think I was expecting too much out of this whole thing, but I agree with Vic. I think Trump won, and I believe, and I'm not just saying that, but I believe that Trump came out ahead tonight because we looked at all these other candidates, and they look like one of them could be a good vice president, but I didn't see really any strong president type of a character.
Do you have a favorite person on that stage? If you could pick Donald Trump's running mate, Ken?
tonight either Tim Scott or Vivek Ramaswamy.
Mhm.
And Vivek, I'm kind of teetering because of some of the things you guys said tonight about Vivek were interesting. That he's a little strong on some of the things. We need to be able to be more flexible, I think,
He's a
than
tryhard. That's what I'm
Vivek
going to go
is.
with.
Yeah.
That's going to be my new.
I like him a
He's
lot.
a tryhard.
I actually do. I did see people that I feel like could be the president on that stage.
Who?
Um,
I'm shocked at this. Who?
if I'm being honest, I think all of them have great qualities, and all of them have qualities that they need to work on.
Can you tell me
but,
Chris Christie's great quality?
well,
Asa Hutchinson has
you
great
know what?
qualities.
I take that back. Actually, I'm glad
6
I-
of them. Now we're down to 6.
5 of them.
Five.
5 of them
Okay.
have great qualities.
Morgan?
And why I say that is because go ahead, Ken. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I say that because 2 years ago, when we were talking about this, when the station first started, the names that I came up with that I wanted to see debating, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, didn't know who the hell Vivek Ramaswamy was, but I'm glad he's there.
You guys need to watch Gutfeld.
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't know who he was. And then I knew Tim Scott, Nikki Haley,
DeSantis.
and DeSantis. And the other 2 out of the 3, Vivek, and then I guess Mike Pence. One of them is like, oh, okay. But those are, I guess what I'm trying to say is I am very happy with the people, 5 of the people that were on that debate stage tonight. And I feel like as the GOP and as a conservative, I should say more, that no one was so disappointing that I think would be worse than Biden.
It's a way better roster.
A dead frog would be better.
It's a
than
way
Biden.
better
True.
roster than they have on the left. And as Katie and I have said many times, if this country reelects Joe Biden and they have these other options available to them, we get what we ask for.
Right.
It's going to be hard to feel sorry for the condition of this country if we reelect Joe Biden, because I mean, every single one of them, even Doug Burgum,
Even Ada.
Yeah.
Ada.
Even
I mean,
Ada.
would be a better would be better for this country than Joe Biden.
Skimbleshanks would be a
Yeah.
better pick. Ken, what do you
would
think
love
about all that?
What's that?
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, a lot of stuff got thrown at you there. What do you think about, could you see any of these guys being president? Tony's comments about, if Biden, can get reelected and there's something wrong. What do you think?
I agree with what Katie was saying. There was a lot of strong talent on that stage. There are things that most all of them had something to work on. The thing is, I have to step back a little bit, and I was disappointed in Nikki Haley a while back, so I keep that with me. When Ron DeSantis joined forces with Murdoch giving him that book deal, and then it was for $1.2 million, and he didn't even write a book yet, and now you find out that he's being supported by the Bushes. All that stuff that all plays into what I'm going to be thinking about later on.
Yes.
I don't want an establishment person. I'm so cynical about this government right now. When you throw somebody like those 2 at me, at face value, I really like them. But when you look at their background and what's going on behind the scenes, I can't stand them. So then you've got Vivek Ramaswamy. He's a great guy. I think he would make a great vice president. As a president, I don't know.
That is Ken Williams, who of course
Thank
you
you,
can hear every
Ken.
day with Vic starting at 9 a.m. right here on News Talk STL. Ken, we will be listening tomorrow for you. Thank you so much, buddy.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. You did a great job.
Thanks, Kenny.
Did you
Thanks,
even
Ken.
pick up on the
What?
We'll be listening tomorrow for you.
For Ken?
Yeah, for Ken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, you just letting it go?
Who do you think won the award? Who do you think won the NBA award? Think it was me? You haven't heard me said he's the show? He is the show.
Talking about how much more impressive the Republicans are than the Democrats right now. You know what's impressive is this team.
Yeah, I agree.
Have on a night like this,
Completely agree.
to have Mike Ferguson, Gabe Pfeiffer, Ken Williams, Chris Arps, and now former
one and only
Missouri Speaker of the House.
The one and only.
Before we go to Tim, I
What?
thought that you were going to set this up to be like, speaking of incredible talent or whatever the hell you just said, Ken Williams knocks you out of the park. And
Well,
I
that's-
thought you,
I'm glad
I thought
you
you were
said
going to
it.
go on a whole
glad-
thing on Ken.
I agree. I can't fight on that.
But no, this is like, if I could ask people, if I didn't work here and I could put together like voices, a combination of voices that I want to hear from and, get their input on a night like this. It is this group.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I completely agree.
So Tim Jones is now joined to the live stream, and
Whoosh, my brother.
yes, Tim, there has been a consistent feeling, I think, that nobody really lived up to expectations in this debate. It feels like everybody is saying in one way or another that they wish they would have seen more. They wish they would have seen somebody stand up. If anybody has gotten those marks, I guess it would be Vivek, I think, in my opinion, more than anybody else. It's from just reading comments and hearing what everybody said. What was your big takeaway? Were you happy? Do you think the party in general looked good tonight? And do you think that anybody did separate themselves from the rest?
Well, good evening, lady and gentlemen. So first of all, one person did separate himself, and I've got my shirt on to prove it. The elephant in the room, the proverbial elephant in the room.
Hey, I'm right here.
That's well, and Vic.
Yeah, Donald Trump t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I wore this. This is from the 2016 race.
What a
Friend of mine
cool
gave me.
shirt. Good shirt.
Friend of mine gave me, and I wore this to not to say, look, I mean, let's be honest about the polling from the beginning of this campaign, which I know for many of our listeners, they're like, oh, good Lord, is this thing started yet? Really already? No, it's been going on for about a year already, right? It started, it started probably right after last November. So, and we were wondering if he was going to, in the early stages, would Donald Trump catch fire again? Would people want to go for round two? And I think because of whatever you want to say about the 2020 election, whether you believe people or not, when they make arguments about the validity of that election, you cannot take away the fact. I mean, the leftists don't yet have the ability to do complete mind control on us. I know they would love that ability, but they still can't control the way people think. And many people are dissatisfied. They think they're right or wrong. That's where it is. And so I think what you've seen is, therefore, Donald Trump started with a lead, and it's only grown. And with every indictment, it has grown. So the more they try to tear him down, the more they're actually lifting him up. And he kind of, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the polling with him not being there physically in the room. But how about this? How about, you don't have to accept my argument for it. Fox News tonight admitted that they cannot live without two things. They really cannot live without Donald Trump or Tucker Carlson, because in a way they mentioned both of them tonight. They didn't have to bring up Trump at all tonight. They did a really good job of ignoring him for like the first 2/3 of the debate. And then when they went to that commercial break, they're like, all right, when we come back, Donald Trump is being indicted tomorrow. I'm like, what? They're actually going there? Holy crap. I couldn't believe 2/3 of the way through the debate where you had some interesting stuff going on. So I thought the debate, I know this is a little stream of consciousness, but it's late. I've been up all day. Drove back from Des Moines, Iowa today.
That's what it's all about. I love
it. I thought the debate started really slow, and I thought it was really boring in the beginning. But there was one thing they did in the beginning that when the debate got more exciting, I think they forgot about. So in the beginning, the debate was boring and slow, but they were beating the crap out of the giant pool of goo, the oatmeal pudding pop in the White House, Joe Biden, because that was the first question. It was about Bidenomics. And I would have liked to have seen with every single question. I mean, think about the questions: crime, the border, so many other energy, education. With every single one of those answers, yeah, they could have taken a pot shot or two at somebody on the stage if they wanted to, if they felt they needed to score some points, or look at me, I'm actually here. In the case of Asa Hutchinson and Doug Burgum, who I didn't know North Dakota had a governor. I thought it was just like a territory of South Dakota, So, I thought it was like a neighborhood.
Let's say in the middle of the debate, is he the current governor?
You guys have a governor? There's people there? There's voters? So,
You're not as good looking as Christy Nome. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah. So, I wish they would have circled back. Speaking of Jen Psaki, I wish they would have circled back during the debate in the questions and talked about how whether or not they agree with the disagreements, as a couple of you mentioned tonight, they're actually small between these. What was there, 8 candidates on the stage? I lost track.
Yeah.
You know, they're small compared to the differences between all 8 of those candidates and the guy in the White House, Joe Biden, and the leftist media and the Democrats in the Senate, right? Like the differences there are a chasm, and they never used to be that way. In our country, those differences used to be a lot shorter, smaller. So I really think they missed a chance to really highlight, throw a giant spotlight on how bad this country has been destroyed by these leftist Marxist communists who have taken over the Democratic Party. There are no more Tip O'Neills in the Democratic Party, not in the positions of power. The positions of power, there's no Tip O'Neills, there's no Bill Clintons, there's no Harry Trumans, there's no JFKs or RFK seniors, right? There's none of those people.
No, you're exactly right.
And when a guy like RFK Jr. steps forward and tries to echo the sounds of his father and his uncle down through the ages, he's called a Looney Tune and a whack job, and you don't belong here, and you don't speak for us anymore. What? Wait, what? RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr. no longer speaks for today's Democratic Party. Well, that's how far they've fallen. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more than that. Was as far as I listened to, this was a lot of fun, by the way. I'm really glad we did this. The comments on, I'm so impressed by how many people were watching the debate and listening to us. Since I was doing it, I was listening to the debate. I'd listen to you guys bouncing in and out. I'd listen to the Trump stuff. Had 3 different screens going on. It was really cool. It was really exciting. Thank you to all of our listeners.
Awesome.
Yes.
Such a, you know, for a station that's barely 2 years old, really remarkable. So I agree with so much of what everybody else said. Chris and Gabe and Ken and Mike. And Mike said something interesting. He said, you know, this was less about winners and losers tonight versus the polling on the polling spectrum, because as Chris pointed out, we still have a long way to go. I pretty much agree with, you know, it's interesting, even though we have differences of opinion in some way, some nuance, everybody kind of had the same feel, right?
Yeah.
To quote the Democrats,
yeah,
we kind of had the same feels, right? It's like DeSantis did okay. He should have done better, right?
Yeah, you highlighted something that I think is important, and you know, we're critical. We're being critical of a lot of these people for very good reasons, and I think a lot of people are disappointed. They wanted to see a little bit more out of people like Ron DeSantis and you know, maybe others, but that doesn't mean, and in today's world, unfortunately, this is what always happens. If you're critical of one person, that means you're completely on the other side. Well,
yeah.
You just you said that the Republicans didn't do very good in the debate tonight. Well, then I guess you're just supporting the Democrats. No, it is important to remember that this points out, just because we're being critical of different people, I think the Republican Party today showed that it is in a much healthier position than the Democratic Party. And that's from somebody who votes libertarian every chance he gets. So, you know, I think that is an important thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to answer Vic's question, maybe with a different answer that is kind of maybe out of far right field where I usually play ball. So, you know, Vic asked, do you see any of these people as president? I would say I could see several of them as president in 2028. In 2028, you know, our bench is deep, it's broad, it's diverse and wide. I mean, okay, so the Democrats have Joe Biden, all right? He's an 80 some odd year old patronizing, patriarchal, elitist, corrupt, loser, white guy, okay? Kamala Harris will never be president unless, God help us, and I wish nothing on him, unless Joe Biden is unable to finish his term. If Joe Biden gets to the end of his term, Kamala Harris will never be president. That's my prediction here. So who do they have waiting in the wings? Greasy Gavin Newsom, another patriarchal, elitist, rich, wealthy white guy. Okay. RFK Jr. I kind of like some of the things he says. He's kind of wacky tobacco sometimes, but he's interesting and he's kind of fun. But older. Where are their? You know, they love. We don't play this game, but yeah, I love to play it with them to show them how absolutely racist and horrible of human beings they are. So let's play this game. Where leftists, Democrats, same thing. Where are your Tim Scotts? Where are your Vivek Ramaswamis?
Yeah,
Where
when
are
they
your-
get them,
where
when
are
they
your
get them,
Nikki
Tim,
Haley's?
when
You
they
know?
get them, they kick them out. When they get those
do.
names, like you said, like JFK or RFK Jr., they belittle them and kick them out. Tulsi Gabbard, when they have
Right. She
when they
left the
have
party.
strong candidates, they don't fall in line with the message. They belittle them and kick them out. Tulsi
Yeah.
Gabbard could be in a different universe. Tulsi Gabbard could be a very strong Democratic politician.
Absolutely. She
And
left the party. She left the party because they forced her out. So when a strong woman who says, I'm going to be a Democrat, but I'm not going to be a leftist, steps forward, or a strong person of color or whatever, that they don't tell the party line, they kick them out. So anyway, yeah, I thought Mike was right about the ups and the downs. I thought DeSantis, all right, he's got a lot of money. He's got a big following. He kind of treaded water tonight. I'm not going to count him out. I think this was all like what Trump predicted a few months ago. This was Veep Stakes night. You know, this is who's auditioning to become vice president. So I think Ron DeSantis' stock stayed kind of where it is. Because he's got so much money and so much of a following, he is a great governor of a big red state. Okay. You know, he's not going anywhere. He's not going to quit tomorrow. So he's fine. You know, kind of like what Chris said. He's fine. He's fine. He's there. Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, okay, this guy's going to go up in the polls. Now, I know some people were turned off by what he did tonight. Vivek meant to do exactly what he did tonight. The problem is, okay, you can't come back and do that again, though, right?
Yes.
Next time,
One trick pony.
the next time you got to show a little more gravitas, a little more substance. But I think Vivek accomplished what he wanted to do tonight. Was like, hey, world, I'm here. I'm Vivek Ramaswamy. And people are like, ooh, this guy's kind of fun. You know, he's Trump without the baggage, you know?
Yeah, he made his presence felt, and he introduced himself to people. And I agree that try hard is what I'm going to keep going with, is a turnoff to some. If that goes away after tonight, then I think that might be the right move for him. But I guess
you know, and just to run through the rest of the list real fast, Mike Pence, God bless him. He's a great American. He's a nice guy. He's a great governor of Indiana. He's from a bygone era of Republican Party politics. And he kind of needs to, like, you know, maybe go write some books. And, you know, he runs some great 501c3 organizations. I'm not trying to be mean to the guy, but it's just like, it was like, which one of these is not like the other? He just didn't like fit on the stage, you know? Asa Hutchinson, come on, dude, you know, enough. I know you hate Trump. Chris Christie is Asa Hutchinson on speed, you know? And so it's like, both of them need to go. So get off the stage. Nikki Haley. I'm not a big Nikki Haley fan, as I think you all know. I don't like her globalist, we are the world tendencies, because, you know, let's worry about us and our problems before we try to start, you know, taking care of territorial disputes and being the world's policeman. However, she gave an excellent answer on the abortion question. Now, she gave an excellent political answer. It wasn't maybe, you know, and I'm a hardcore pro-lifer, so it probably wasn't the best pro-life answer, but to survive through the teeth of the hateful media and everything they're going to do to try to do to Republicans on abortion, she gave a great political answer. I hope they were all taking notes on how to answer it. Basically, you flip this around on the leftist and you say, fine. Okay, I'll be willing to discuss this question with you, but you tell me, leftist, when does life begin for you? On the operating table? A few days before labor? 8th month? 7th month? Where does it begin? You tell me where it begins, and then I'm not going to bet against myself. You tell me where I've told you what I think.
Yes.
Now I believe in life from conception. Now you tell me where you draw the line. And if you can't do that, then basically you're advocating for abortion, unfettered, on demand. You're for killing children. Okay, next question. You want to talk about energy next? And I thought she handled that really well tonight. So I think her stock's going to go up a little bit. So I think Ramaswamy's stock goes up. DeSantis stays where he is. I think Nikki Haley goes up a touch. Tim Scott, he's great. He's a great guy. But he's such a policy wonk. It's like he has trouble filling, I think, the national TV screen, you know. But he didn't do anything wrong. He's a great guy, great senator. You know, Hutchison, Chris Christie.
Fuck them both.
The guy from the suburb of South Dakota, you know, I think maybe Maybe they need to hang it up. You know.
Yeah. I think we would have all appreciated if the others had a little bit more time, and we could get Hutchinson and maybe Burgum and Chris off the stage.
I know people are complaining a little bit about Fox losing control and what the heck are you going to do with 8 alphas up on a stage? I mean, I mean,
Tony actually had a great idea.
fun. I thought it was exactly what I was hoping for.
Tony says they should have like an elimination, 20 minutes into the round. Hey, so Hutchinson, you're a jackass.
I said halfway through they should turn the lights off over the two podiums.
Get yourself down.
You guys are done, and now we're gonna move on with these guys.
They do
Tim
like guys grocery games. All right, round one's over.
Somebody
has to now go home.
Yes. Really appreciate it. We'll be listening tomorrow. Tim Jones and Chris Arps every day at 4:00 here on News Talk STL. And great stuff tonight. And we'll be listening tomorrow, Tim. Thanks so much.
Push my brother.
Thanks,
Push my
a couple quick takeaways here. And before we wrap this up, first of all, I am embarrassed about myself. If you're watching on, obviously on the live stream, every single person that works here that joined us on the live stream was like at a desk with a tripod and a background. If it was me, I'd have been like sitting on my bed holding my phone in my hand.
Yeah, in my couch.
Like I am the lead. Like I work with professionals, and I am.
Maybe we can learn something.
A poser.
I'd be in front of fish tanks. So what's worse?
So that's number one. Number two, I think one of the things that we are going to see start to unfold is the division on Vivek. I think that with a group of Republicans, if you take Trump out of the equation, that they are gravitating towards Vivek, and there are others that are not. And I think that started tonight big time. And I think you're going to see that continue. I think there's a lot of people. I was watching the chat. There's a lot of people that were like, go Vivek. Yeah. He's the man.
Here's my question for him.
I like him.
Why start with the presidency, right? Why not run for Senate? You're only 38 years old.
Well, maybe he will. And maybe this is his way of, maybe this
Getting
for
there?
him is more about,
You know what? Maybe you're right.
Raising his stock and raising his
You
name
both
awareness.
said before this night that neither of you have seen Vivek Ramaswamy talk for more than 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Combined between the two of you.
Yeah.
You don't think the rest of America is the same way?
Right.
Right. So why go right for the presidency? Run for state senator, be Nick Schroer. Nick Schroer is going to be president one day, but right now he's a state senator.
I'll tell you what, that statement may be exactly true.
And guess who he's going to pick for his press secretary? Me.
And I'll be his
I
communications
have
director.
actually
Yes, baby.
seen so when Ramaswamy came on the scene 2-3 months ago, I was really interested in him, and I've watched a bunch of his podcasts. So I've seen,
So you have seen him.
not on Gutfeld like you were talking about
But you've
6
seen him
months
talk.
ago.
You see,
but
his policy.
as soon as he had traction, I was like, okay, he's interesting. So I've seen him on many podcasts, including Tucker Carlson's on X. But someone at the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God, one of his cohorts, asked him the same question. She was an independent, and she said to him, what have you ever done for public service? Why do you think that you should become the next president of the United States when you have literally zero credibility to stand on when it comes to being a public servant? And now you're now
kind of like Barack Obama did.
Yeah. Well, and
Donald
she
Trump.
loved
Donald Trump had.
And so this is all to my point in saying that I think he wanted to come to this side of the table because of name recognition. There's definitely self-indulgence and wanting something for self and all of this. But I also think there's probably a little bit to show people my age that it's possible, that you are capable. I mean, his game is to bring in the youngins. That's his
and
game.
I love that idea.
His game is to be like, oh, the millennials and Gen Zers, you think we're all just pieces of shit that just walk around and we don't believe in capitalism. We're socialists, all these things, we're entitled. He is doing the best job out of all the candidates.
I agree.
He's on par with Trump with reaching these 25 and 21-year-olds and being like, Let's show these people what we're
Well,
capable
you know
of
what?
doing.
I'm kind of for that plan because the world needs more young
Yeah,
conservatives.
I don't think that he thinks that he's going to win. And I don't think he ever thought he was going to win.
Right.
I think this strategy is this is the rocket ship
Yes,
to
it
get
is.
on the radar, to make people aware of who he is for whatever that next step is, Congress, Senate, and then
Cabinet
maybe
position.
maybe
Cabinet
another
position.
presidential race down the line. But I mean, I think this for him, more than the rest of them, is all about just raising his stock. And I think he did that with a big chunk of Republican voters tonight and has continued to do that. But I think also this is going to be much like Donald Trump is a divider of
Yes,
people
yes.
and a divider of conservatives.
Yes.
I think that a little miniature version of that is going to play out over the next couple months with Vivek. I think you're going to see a lot of people latching on to him as their second favorite, or maybe their favorite for VP, and other people that are, conservatives that, just like the group of conservatives that don't like Donald Trump, that don't like Vivek. I just see that. I see that happening. One more thing I wanted to ask you guys, that Tim Jones touched on it, but haven't really talked about it too much at all. What about were you happy with the questions that were asked?
No, I
Were
mean,
you-
yeah, but they could have been more. There could have been. Well, they lost control of this whole debate, right?
Mhm.
What you said, Vivek's strategy of make them say your name so you get an extra
Yeah.
30 seconds, that wasted a lot of time, or maybe
Mhm.
some other questions should have been asked.
Mhm.
I also think the Arizona twins there wouldn't know what to ask if it hit them in the ass. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm. The
Because
Arizona twins are Martha McCallum and Brett Baer,
yes,
by the
I'm
way.
sorry, right, because they
People
called
who may have
Arizona.
just be joining us.
God, I don't want to get into that.
No, well,
I think you should.
yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that night, they called Arizona, and I'm looking at the thing on the bottom, and Trump's actually ahead in the percentages by a little bit. And we're going to call Arizona for Joe Biden. I'm like, what in the hell? Why would you do that? So that's why I call them the Arizona twins. Do I think they asked good questions? Yes. Do I think that they could have asked more questions about their own specific policies about things? I would have asked, okay, raise your hand if you're America first, and count how many people raise their hands, things like that.
I didn't think that they did that. I thought that the couple times that they did ask a really good, intriguing question, there was, I think you had stepped out for a second, Vic, when they were doing the lightning round.
Yeah.
And they asked a great question, but they only asked it to one candidate.
Ugh.
And then they moved on.
Yeah.
Like the couple times that they did ask a really good question, they only let one or two of the candidates answer. And, like, oh, I would have liked to hear Ron DeSantis's answer there, or Tim Scott's answer there. So I didn't, I did not think that was,
I think they both.
I don't know, like with 8, like Tim said, 8 alphas, but you're talking about 8 people running for president, desperate for attention, desperate for, to get their message out. How you can contain that in 30-second answers. Maybe it's an impossible task.
How about
I
this?
didn't think they did a good job.
How about a bit of a different format change on debates like this? Because honestly, I know when they fight with each other, the two of them are yelling at each other. Conflict creates entertainment. I get that, but then you can't hear what either of them are saying. Like when you listen to a radio show or a television show, everybody talks at once. You don't hear anybody. So wouldn't this be a great way to see how mental acuity is really fitting into their candidacies when you can't talk when somebody else is talking. You have 30 seconds. Anybody else wants to respond to it, you got to wait till it's done. You got to remember what that person says, give them a pad, let them write it down. Because I got to tell you, I'll be honest with you, I'm 65 years old. I got to write down everything.
Sure.
When I'm interviewing somebody on the phone, I got to write down everything I want to say, or I'll forget it 5 seconds later. It's probably dementia kicking in, but it's between the three of us. So you see what I'm saying? Because maybe not Fox. How about that? How about maybe Newsmax or us?
Yeah.
How about
Us.
moderating a debate?
Us.
And we'll make it.
That's what we need.
We'll make the criteria higher than that, so there's not as many people there.
Right.
Yes.
8 people is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you have 1%, that's what? So what was it going in? DeSantis had 30. I'm just guessing 30.
A couple months ago, he had 30. He's like
That's
at 10 or
14.
15 in a
All
lot of
right,
places.
so 15. Ramaswamy had
Yeah.
10,
8,
double digits,
9,
8.
yeah.
No, I don't even think he was. I
So-
think he
Yeah,
was like
somewhere
5.
in there though. Yeah.
Are you serious? I
Yeah.
was going to go down to 5.
Yeah, I think he's like 5
Oh,
or 6.
no.
He's low.
People like Burgum, Hutchinson,
Are at 1.
Pence are at 1.
Then why are
Christie.
they there? Clearly, nobody gives a shit
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing? Just giving, this guy from North Dakota a chance to everybody see who he is. He looks like Fonzie. I mean, what is the reason that they're even there? They're wasting our time.
Well,
How many more good, solid questions could have been asked
Yeah.
if there were less people up there?
I
That's a good
agree. I
point.
agree with you, but
Very
I will
good
give
point.
you the answer. I'll give you the
Oh,
devil's advocate.
yes.
The answer is that you don't want it to be, you don't want people to be able to just buy the presidency. You don't want just the people that have the billionaires or the backing of special interests or whatever that can just fork down millions of dollars on these giant ad campaigns to get to the 5% or 10% if you were to raise the threshold
Yeah.
of that, and then the guerrilla campaign, they have no shot at getting on the debate stage. That's the reason why. And I get it. And I understand, wanting to make sure that you can't just buy your way on the stage. But I also think that
All right, you're right. So
having
how
Doug
about
Burgum up there or Asia Hutchinson up there is a waste of time.
How about a
So-
series of debates where the person that has the biggest lead, and then maybe the second person, and then rotate the other people, right? I would have loved to have seen
Yeah,
Larry
that's a
Elder
good-
there tonight.
they used to be.
That's a really good.
It used to seem like
method.
whether
Would
it
you rather
was
see Larry Elder?
That's a good method.
whether
A
it was
tiered method.
whether it was like the exact system or if it just happened to play out this way. It used in the past, I feel like that's how it always was, that the front runners going in the middle, the people in the middle of the stage, they got more questions
Right.
than the people on the end.
Right.
And so at the end, there's always going to be those things like the minutes, who had, we'll see all those numbers
Sure.
in the next 24 hours of, who talked for the most minute. And it was always like the ones in the center stage.
Sure.
I think that I don't know for sure, but Ron DeSantis I think maybe mid-pack and
Right.
who we heard from
That's right.
most tonight. And if it comes out tomorrow that he was 1 or 2, then it just proves my point even more that he didn't do himself any favors because he didn't stand out. If he was the one that had the most airtime, he didn't stand
use it
out.
wisely.
Yeah,
He didn't use the time wisely.
it didn't stand out to me at all. So a lot of those things were disappointing.
But I agree with one thing that you said tonight, Tony. This team is top notch.
Yes, we are.
The team at this
Yeah.
radio station, I've never seen anything like it. Granted, I worked in music radio for 39 years, but there's nothing like this team.
Yeah, please let us know if this is something that you want to see us do more of, because this is tonight was very experimental for us. It was a first time thing. And, and I really liked it. And we're
I
getting
hated
a
it.
lot of
you?
feedback
Oh, I loved it.
and we had a lot of participation on the various social media channels. So if this is something you'd like to see more of, please let us know. Final score on the dings and buzzes.
Yeah.
Just if there is a way, if there is a scoreboard tonight, I
Yeah.
don't see any better way
That's
to do
right.
it.
Might as
than
well
that.
ding and buzz it as
Let's
we're
do
going.
it.
Vivek Ramaswamy got the most dings
Wow.
from Vic Porcelli.
Wow.
So Vic was dinging a candidate if they said something that he really liked, and buzzing them if they said something that he
Or if I just didn't
hated.
like their face.
Vivek, you gave Vivek the most dings, 7 dings, 0 buzzes.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Tim
Oh,
Scott,
snap.
5 dings, 0 buzzes.
Wow.
You
Katie.
surprised yourself, don't you?
I did. This is great because you don't
I
really
know.
have a count
Yeah,
as you're
yeah.
going.
Just doing
You
it.
learn
I know.
something you're dinging. This is great.
And you learned something about yourself.
How about that? I like Tim Scott.
Yes. Nikki Haley also 5 dings,
Wow.
but 1 buzz.
Okay.
So
I
that's
feel like
why
there
I
was
good.
more on her, but
That the what, dings or buzzes?
buzzes.
I thought there should have been 2 because I didn't like her Ukraine war comments.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. Let Ukraine fight for themselves.
Maybe that was the buzz.
We did what?
Maybe that was the buzz.
Maybe. Because why didn't we do anything for Crimea? We just let Russia take Crimea. Here you go. Here's Crimea. But now Ukraine's a different story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that was a divider of
Plus,
men.
while people
Ukraine.
in East Palestine, Ohio, are dying of cancer because of the toxic fumes let off by that train wreck, people in Maui watch their kids literally burn to death.
Yeah. Horrible.
Sorry.
No, like I said, Tim Scott was 5 dings, 0 buzzes. Nikki was 5 dings, 1 or 2.
Let's do 2. Do 2. I think it's 2.
Mike Pence, 3 buzzes, 1 ding.
Me?
Or I'm sorry, 3 dings, 1 buzz.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah. 4th. So 4th best performance.
I think the buzzes are off.
I do too.
Not by your tally, Tony, but just maybe we didn't tally just collectively.
No, I was tallying the whole time. So if they're off, they're because of me. And I will say, go and check the audio. And you will see.
I'm not listening to this again.
Let's go to the video.
I'm not listening to this again.
Ron DeSantis is the only other person that received a ding, and it was 1 ding, 0 buzzes, which again proves my point that he just was a nothing.
You're right. I wish I had that in front of me when you asked me the question about tonight and how they did it, so I can really see how I really felt.
Doug Burgum got 0 in each.
Nothing and nothing.
Asia Hutchinson got 0 dings, 4 buzzes.
Fuck him.
And Chris Christie got 0 dings and 7 buzzes.
Wow.
Amazing.
He's a mystery wrapped in a Twinkie.
So
isn't he?
yeah, Vivek, according to the Vic Porcelli scoreboard, won, and followed by Tim Scott, Nikki Haley.
I can't
and
wait
Mike
to do this
Pence.
again.
Yay! Right.
All right, can I
Awesome.
thank our sponsor here? real
Yes,
quick?
I was
Are we
gonna
done?
say
I'm sorry. you're
Yeah,
done?
no, we are.
We've
we
got to
are-
be done. I've
We're
got to
done.
go home.
Thanks to Great Harvest Bread
I love
Company
you.
for sponsoring our event. All we need is love, as in kneading bread. They gave us some great stuff. I'm bringing that pumpkin shit home to my wife. Can I just give a quick plug to my show tomorrow? Because I think
Of
this
course.
is huge.
Yes.
Donald Trump is turning himself in Georgia tomorrow, and we just happen to have his attorney on the air tomorrow morning at 9:40.
9:41.
So he could
that
have
is
already turned
can't
himself in at that
miss.
point, or coming up soon. You can't make a Thursday any better than that.
No,
between
that
Karen
is a-
Cataline and Nate, and right.
Yeah,
And
that's a
now the-
can't miss discussion.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, Colombo and Katie tomorrow, we will be talking to Justin Sparks, Missouri State Representative Justin Sparks, and Dr. Randy Tolbert.
I love him. He
I
doesn't
can't
like me. Justin
wait.
Sparks does not like me.
Oh, he likes everybody.
No, he doesn't like me. He doesn't come on my show.
Yeah, and Justin and Dr. Tobler are 2 people that I cannot wait to get their thoughts.
Yeah, I
and
can't wait for
reaction
either of those two.
to tonight's debate. Thank you to everybody who joined us on our various social media channels, and as Vic said, a huge thank you to Great Harvest Bread Company for sponsoring this debate coverage, the first of many special coverages and special live streams, as we have now officially kicked off the 2024 election season. America Decides 2024, and there will be no place in town or anywhere that will have you more covered for the next year plus in this election season.
I agree with that.
With national news and races, local news and races, than us here right here at News Talk STL. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you,
and
guys.
We will all talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.